All right, I think I am live. All right, wait, hold on. Let me check some of these settings real quick. Guys, do me a favor. As you guys come down into the building, leave me a 1 so I can know if you guys can hear and or see me correctly. All right, go to YouTube dashboard. Okay, hold up. I would wholeheartedly appreciate that. Hold up. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm live yet. Hold on. Like, this shit. Okay. There goes the chat. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? MTR from Vegas. What's good? I see all the ones that's coming out into the building. Okay, good to know. As you guys can see, okay, the setup's a little bit different than what you guys are used to. Your boy is mobile right now, all right? Y'all like the setup? I don't. I think it's quite trash. But there's nothing I can do with that right now. Okay. Your boy is mobile for a variety of reasons. Okay. I'm thinking about making this setup a little bit better as well. So I'm not currently home. I'm mobile right now. That's why in the most recent videos, you guys have been seeing this particular background. Your boy's been mobile. But such is life. Stuff happens. Stuff comes up. You still want to deliver value. You got to become mobile. You got to do the things that you have to do in order to get them done. Shout out to everybody that's coming down into the building. Y'all already know what time it is. It is time to get active. All right? There's a lot of drama happening over in these YouTube streets. Some of them include me. But irrespective of all of that, guys, I wanted to go over this conversation between Sneako, Destiny. Let me get this off of the stream. And then the Godfather of the RP, Rollo Tomassi. Apparently, they had a very interesting conversation a couple of days ago over at the Fresh and Fit Enterprise. Actually, a couple of days ago as well, I uploaded a video where we went over some of the things that Rollo Tomassi said in a tweet. And then Sneako was challenging what the tweet said on the Fresh and Fit platform. And within that, we saw a whole different, newer, improved version of Sneako that seemed to be a lot more aligned with his Islamic beliefs, his new Islamic beliefs, and less aligned to this idea of red pill as it's been sort of documented by at least one person who is Rollo Tomassi. So what happened during this live stream, and I haven't seen the entire thing, but what happened during this live stream is that Rollo Tomassi actually called up to discuss this particular tweet. All right. So what's the tweet? Just to catch you guys up who are not familiar. The tweet was, right, as we get people to flood down up in here, I'm going to get you guys set up and ready. All right. But make sure in the meantime, you guys tell your sister, your daddy, your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather, your parole officer, your boss, that your boy is live right now. Send them off the link. All right. Tell them that we about to go get active. Anyway, so what was the tweet? All right. Rollo Tomassi says, the quickest path to becoming a high value man. Do not get married. Avoid family creation. Which the first 2 points I agree with. You get married early. It's a lot more money that you got to dish out, a lot more time within that marriage that you have to make for that relationship, as opposed to building on yourself, building on your network, building on talents and skills. Avoid family creation. The earlier that you have a family, the more responsibilities that you have, the less time that you have, and the more money that goes towards kids and not towards things that can make you a man of value. The one that I disagreed with, and the one that Sneako on that live stream, on the Fresh and Fit live stream, disagreed with as well, was vasectomy in your 20s. I didn't understand this. It sounded like he was speaking out of turn, out of pocket. Didn't make a lot of sense. So I think that within this stream here today, he's going to go over what this one meant, okay? The one right after that was lift consistently. One of the points that I've always said was, Well, how can you have the discipline to lift consistently? Or how can you have the discipline to make yourself into a high value man, but you can't have the discipline to not have to go get snip before you have any children? Doesn't make any sense to me. Number 5, eliminate all sedations. So when I think about that, corn, liquor, drugs, excessive video gaming, excessive Netflixing and all streaming services, excessive movies, excessive. So I agree with the sedations part. Learn game and networking. Sure. Selling yourself. Makes sense. Play to your strengths. Build wealth. Sure. Resist easing up in your focus. Stay conditioned or stay disciplined. Makes perfect sense. So really the argument stemmed from this one right here, which is vasectomy in your 20s. Which is why I said that, like, when people ask me, are you a RP content creator? I always say no. I say my content comes from here, because if I say that, I get jumbled into the ideas that other people have created, right? And it's less red pill for me and more just me being real or me being authentic to the things that I teach or give advice on, or the experiences that I give feedback on or critique. You understand me? So shout out to the super chats that are coming through as well. Shout out to Aaron Laura, the 5 Canuck bucks for the 26.3. Smash that like. Shout out, Laura. I appreciate that. Shout out to Optimus Prime with the $10 super chat. Who names their son Rollo? Nobody, apparently, because that's not his real name. All right. Oh, actually, before we get started, hold on. I was supposed to post this over to my to my Instagram. Oh, shit. See, this is why I need a producer. Hold on, let me just put this on the Instagram real quick as folks are starting to filter in here. Guys, you already know what time it is. The MT Army. Make yourself at home. Kick off your shoes before you come into the household, though. Make sure that the people down into the MT Army know who you are, where you from. Go ahead, put it down up in there. City, state. All right? Put it down up into the chat right now so everyone in the MT Army can know who you are. Let's see who we got across the world right now. All right, while I do this. Story. We live on the channel right now. All right, come to the YouTube channel. We live. Come through. We live on the channel right now. All right, come to the YouTube channel. There we go. We live. Come through. We live on the channel right now. All right, come to the YouTube. There we go. There we go. All right, let me see who we got down into the building. Toronto. What's good? Philly. New York City, baby. Sweden, Montreal, Raleigh. Oh, we worldwide. Poland, New York, Mississippi. Let's go. New York City, I see you. Kansas. Sheesh. Bilox, Mississippi. Belize. DMV, specifically Maryland. Okay. Belgium in the building. Shout out to the moderators down into the chat. Gail, I see you. Shout out to everybody that's coming through. All right. Usually I wait about 15 minutes for people to come through, for everyone to get the notification, but I think it's okay to get it started right now. The video that I'm pulling up is from Destiny's YouTube page. The video is about an hour. So I don't want to be here all day and all night. So without further ado, matter of fact, before we get started as well, guys, mtarmy.com, new website, newly created. All right. You can go up here to see wherever you can find me at, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, Facebook, on my Patreon. If you want to book a consultation, some time with me, if you want to be involved in the Discord, or you want to get on the newsletter, it's all right here, all accessible. You can see the last couple of videos that I posted, as well as a merch shelf as well. All right. So if you want to do any of these things with me, go to mtarmy.com and your boy is right there. Shout out to Blitz Pone with the $10 super chat. What's good, pimpin'? Let's get active this weekend. Shout out my G. I appreciate that. I'm like, oh, nigga, I don't got my soundboard. I can't hit my damn special effects or nothing like that. But that's what happens when you go mobile, okay? Shout out to Wits End for becoming a member for 6 months. What's up, nephew? Keep dropping these hits. Absolutely. You already know what time it is. Listen, when it's stuff like this that happens down into the space, there's only one place to go to get like the official commentary. to get the official refereeing of the things that's happening. And that's right down here. So shout out to you, my brother. Thank you again for becoming a long-term member. Shout out to Big Diesel Time for the $10 super chat from Inglewood, California. If you remove vasectomy off the list, no issue from me. Absolutely agree with you, my G. Without further ado, let's get active.
Now, listen, for just 5 seconds, okay? This is no joke here.
But then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family?
What is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is. Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking
because it's your tweet.
Douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
What do you say?
Douche nozzles?
Yes. You guys are idiots. Why you guys come in here from Twitch stream? Like, how?
You don't think Ben Shapiro's a high value man?
Let's take for. Do I think he is? I don't think he's a high value man.
Wait, what is his definition? He owns his own business. Is like one of the most successful alt media platforms in the world. He's married his fucking young sweetheart.
Right. You know who else is not a high value guy? Elon Musk. Let's see. Who else? Jeff Bezos. Yeah, go back to Twitch. There's some advice for you. That's some real advice.
Did he say douche nozzle?
Rollo Tomassi, shout out to Rollo Tomassi in the fucking house.
Bro, why are you in the chat, bro? Like, he's always in the chat. What else?
Hey, chill. He's probably doing his hair right now.
Bro,
okay?
he's our homie, man. Destiny just
It's not just your stream. Like, I see him in every show I go on. Just dudes like, are you always online?
He'll be here next week.
Are you serious, bro? Valuetainment. Yeah, Pearl show, everything.
Would you debate Rollo?
Of course I would.
He would body you.
Okay.
He would body you.
All right.
Just sure.
As long as his wife lets him do it, you know.
Bro.
Destiny just sends this week. OF girls to debate me because he's too scared to come to Vegas and sit across the table for me. Offer's been open since November.
Damn.
If he wants to debate me on somebody else's podcast, that's fine. But I'm not going to go and like dig this guy
He'll
up
be here
like
next
fucking
week.
Lazarus from the underworld and try to resurrect his career. That's not my
He'll
job.
be here next week.
Okay, I'll be here too.
We
if
should
he
do a
wants
round
to.
table.
Okay, round table.
If he wants to, yeah.
And he should debate your ass.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Let's pull up Rollo's tweet real quick because this has been a point of contention
With
in a
Sneako.
lot of things. And we got it right there. So this was his tweet, right? It goes,
Yeah.
and this was from what, a week ago? About a week ago.
Well, we could go.
So the quickest path
Stop it, Fresh.
the quickest path to becoming a high value man: number one, don't get married, avoid family creation, vasectomy in your 20s, lift consistently, eliminate all sedations, learn game and networking, play to your strengths, build wealth, resist easing up on your focus, and it's the quickest path to becoming a high value man. And I know that Sneako had some point of contention specifically with number 3, which is get a vasectomy in your 20s.
Can I just ask, why did he need 8 points? Did he like get contracted to write all 8 of these? Because like I see some duplication. So like number 2, avoid family creation. Number 3, vasectomy in your 20s.
It's kind of the
Couldn't that
same.
be like collapsed into 1 point? Did he need 8? Did he feel stupid with like 6 or 7 or?
Okay, I mean, you're
What?
I'm just curious, but if there's
I
like
think
a
he's
reason.
clarifying it out. It's just 8 things. I mean,
What's hilarious about this? Okay, so additional context. So Fresh and Fit, right? Their podcast is based within the structure of RP content, right? That's no secret. They'll probably agree with the exact same way that I just said that. I don't know if they mentor specifically, but Rollo has a heavy hand. Rollo's been on it at least 10 times. Rollo's been a part of, right? Like, and they reference the rational male. They're obviously friends, right? Their relationship goes beyond business. They seem like they're actual friends, right? So like Destiny's there. Destiny is quick-witted as hell and is trolling the shit out of Rollo. So Myron and Fresh seem to be at odds, right? Like you see like Fresh go into Sneako, like he would body you in a debate, right? Like, and then over here, Destiny is talking shit. Why is it 8? Why is it not 6 or 7? And then Myron's like, come on, man, it's just 8. Like, who gives a shit? So the hilarious shit is, and this also kind of speaks to all of the things that my name have been dragged into over the past week, right? The opportunity of collaborations, right? There's gonna be pros and there's gonna be negatives. And one of the negatives is that of the people sitting in the room or the people calling into the live show, you don't know the specific friendships, you don't know the beefs perchance, or maybe you do. See, it's negative when it comes to if you don't want drama, if you don't want like all of the bullshit that comes with content creation, but it's good if all that you care about is content and all that you care about is entertainment, okay? So let's just go on with that thought. All right, let's just keep going.
that put them together, I guess.
The best person to ask question to is Rollo directly.
That's true.
So we'll do it next week, probably.
I hope so, yeah.
But this list is concise because once again, he's just saying in general, faster way to get to that point.
Yeah.
What is high value man?
I think he means what he means in this context is being a guy that's like desirable to women and being attractive to women, so that you'll be I guess a marketable sexual partner.
Well, but that doesn't make sense, right? Like avoid family creation and get a vasectomy and like
want.
be attractive to men.
But no. It's because
women, right?
Again, like I said before,
Myron doesn't know what to do.
So he gave the instructions to retard proof it, right? Because when you give advice, typically you have to, appeal to the lowest common denominator. So like there's guys out there, right, that could have been, I'm being honest here. There's guys out there that, could have played basketball back in the day, maybe football, whatever. And their career got smashed because they got a girl pregnant and they couldn't pursue what they want to do because they had to be a dad early.
True.
So what he's saying is, okay, this is how you mitigate risk so you could become a higher status guy. We're going to eliminate all the things that could fuck you up. Now, I want to make this very clear for some of y'all because some of you guys don't understand. I'm not saying I advocate for vasectomies or whatever. I don't have one. I've never gotten one.
Oh, okay.
But what I am saying is that given the context of what he's tweeting for this specific situation, it makes sense because he's saying, hey, these are the ways so that you don't fuck yourself up to ensure that you're going to be successful. He's retard proofing it.
But that is a pretty retarded advice because you're saying do this so that you become more attractive to women. So what's even the point of having a relationship with a woman if you can't have kids with her? Then you're just having an empty relationship just to fuck her for your whole life. And then what?
I don't agree with that. You can absolutely have healthy relationships with people and not have kids with them. So I don't agree with him on that point. What I don't agree with Rollo on is his whole vasectomy thing. It just doesn't make sense. Shout out to Chris McClain with the $20 super chat. I would hit the buzzer right now if I had it, my G, but I appreciate it. Philly to Chester, PA. Oh, I used to live in that area, my G. I remember Chester. Is it Westchester or Chester, PA? I used to live down into the area. MTR, what's up, my guy? How are you? I'm doing okay, as best as what I can do. And to everyone in the chat, hi y'all. Hope y'all day is a powerful one. Shout out my G, member of the MT Army. Chris, I appreciate the $20 super chat and support. But let me also stretch on my point from before. This content thing, especially from collaboration, because let me say it from this. I used to have talks with Kevin back when he was still alive. And one of the things that we would talk about is from a business perspective. He was like, do you want to be who people talk about? Or do you want to be the person that talks about other people, right? So from a content creator's perspective, separate those two things in your mind. So within that, you have podcasters. Fresh and Fit are less content creators, I would say, and they're more a podcast show, a live podcast show. So people are going to talk about Fresh and Fit, right? As opposed to being a commentary channel, or to a lesser degree, which you really don't see that much, is reaction channels within this particular space, which is talking about who the people in front are doing. Both pros and cons comes with, both of those situations come with a lot of different pros and cons. Kevin was more of a live stream podcaster. He would just do it live streaming, talking to real people. He'd monologue and then talk to real people. Sort of like this. They talk about things and they talk to real people. So within it, you get a lot of pros and a lot of cons. One of the cons of being over here is that you're always going to have people that are going to create content about you, for better, for worse. However, thinking about this right now, just think about the concept of this. Destiny has gone on to Fresh and Fit, right? Clipped up something from Fresh and Fit. This video right here has 353,000 views as it exists right now. You understand me? So just off of the strength of him coming up and having a conversation about this stuff, let's say he has a CPM of like 5. You guys do the math. $5 CPM, 5 times $5 per 1,000 views times 300, right? Times 355,000 views. That's the kind of money that can be made if you're on the front line of something like this. And the amount of reach extends because of all of the channels that then talk about it, like my channel, who's more from a commentary perspective. So pros and cons. But if you take a L being on the front line, that's going to be a bad week for you. All right, let's get back in it.
He's saying to become high value, which means you make the choice. Do I want to do that or not? So he's giving you the choice to do that, but when to become high value.
Myron just said that it's to become high value, to become attractive to a woman.
Yeah, if that's what you choose.
I feel like we're 2 months away from tweets of like, give your bro like the key to your cock chastity cage to make sure that you guys are fucking around without permission or whatever. Like, I feel like we're
That's an
Like, don't you
extreme.
guys tweet all the time about how like, oh, like women are f***ing disgusting that are freezing their eggs at like 20 and they're never gonna find. And now
Yes.
you've got like guys that go to sperm clinics. Like, here you go. I'm never gonna be able to impregnate my wife because there's like a 30% reversal rate on this fucking surgery. But maybe in the future I
We
can
laugh
inject
at
my
girls who want
cold
to freeze
fucking
their eggs
semen.
all the
Yeah,
time.
like it's like the same
But
shit.
notice, right? He has 2
No, it's like
points.
a 90% reversal rate.
Yeah.
actually.
Well,
So
depending on
is
how
that
quick
true?
it is. Wait, for vasectomies?
Yeah, to get it reversed and be able to actually.
After like 10 years, it's like 30 to 50%.
Yeah,
And
but
your
after
20s
years,
is
though.
10 years.
You're supposed to reverse it back within the 10
Well,
years.
wait,
your-
hold on, wait.
your
So you're gonna
20s is
get
10 years.
vasectomy at like, yeah, you're gonna get a vasectomy at 20, become high value by 23, and then get it reversed. Like what?
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
You're being extreme as usual.
Well, he said
Well,
your 20s. That's 10
yeah,
years.
Yeah, but you could do it, but when you're 28, 29. At that
So
point,
what? So 9 years? What is it? 45% chance of reversal, bro? You're not gonna have kids anymore.
You're sterilizing half your audience. That's just wild to me.
Hold on. Notice he
Yeah.
had 2 points there. He said, 1, avoid what? Family creation, and 3, vasectomy in 20s. You can choose what you want to do. Apply what you need to apply. He's just saying you could do either or.
Okay.
No, he's
I'm
not.
just saying, I'm worried that
Yeah.
Rollo's kids aren't going to have any customers to sell books to. Okay,
Here's,
that's
here's
what I'm
the
worried
thing
about.
you guys are confusing it with. He's giving that advice. Those things are to mitigate fuck ups.
Yeah.
So that you get on your path to becoming higher status. That's to mitigate fuck ups. It's not about this is so you can fucking have a bunch of kids and have a family. That's not the advice. The advice is this is how you mitigate fuck ups in your 20s so that you can become attractive. Now, again, like I said before, am I telling guys go out there and get a vasectomy? No. But he's giving these points because if you follow those things, it's gonna be very difficult for you to fuck your life up.
Here's a question for on that list.
Yeah, go
He's got 2 things. Okay. About your dick, okay? About avoid family creation, get a vasectomy. Is there anything on that list about like just avoid women?
But
avoid
hold on.
temptation.
Hold on. We know as men, we want women no matter what. But whether we want to abstain or be monk mode, it doesn't matter. However, question for you guys on the panel.
Oh God, fresh. Shout out to Malamo with a $5 super chat. Freeze sperm in 20s. Get vasectomy, become successful, find wife, in vitro, frozen sperm in her. Shout out for the $5 super chat. Oh gosh. All right, let's just
If
keep
you had
going.
a kid,
I don't want to
be
keep on
honest
stopping
here.
it too early.
would you be where you're at right now?
Destiny had a kid at
Have
his
a
early
kid,
20s.
yeah.
No. Well, oh, you did?
Yeah, he had a
yeah.
kid
He's
in his
impressive,
early
yeah.
20s.
Okay.
He's very successful.
But I mean, no, it was a lot of difficulty, of course. Yeah.
But be honest though, your kid is amazing, I bet. But at the same time, it did hold you back a little bit.
No,
on
yeah, of
certain
course,
things. Sneako, for you, would you be in the same spot? Honestly,
If I had a kid at what age are you talking about?
earlier than like 20.
I mean,
No, you wouldn't be. That's the point here. He's
yeah,
saying-
who knows where I would have been? My life would have been a completely different life.
The point is you might not even be here. I'm just trying to say he's saying mitigate risk and say, you know what? Avoid
Well, I
kids.
might not be on the Fresh and Fit podcast right now, but I would have been successful.
But see, no, Fresh, he's not saying mitigate risk. That's not what he's saying. The question, it's the quickest way. It's the quickest, that's what he said. The quickest way to become a high value man, which you're saying is mitigate risk. Now, if he said something like how to mitigate the most amount of risk on the way to becoming a high value man. If that was the argument right there, full stop, and he put in vasectomy, then I might agree with him. But he said the quickest. You know what's quicker than going to go get a vasectomy? Putting on a condom. That's quicker. You understand what I'm saying? You're saying mitigate risk. He never said mitigate risk, which is my problem with this. Words matter. If he said mitigate or to reduce risk, vasectomy, I can understand that. But not when it's just the quickest.
In different realms, and maybe I would have taken a different path.
How do you know?
Abstinence,
Use protection.
put on a condom.
Yeah, see, this okay. No,
That's a good point. And he said avoid what? Family creation, which means use a condom too.
no, it doesn't. It says get a vasectomy. That was the
No.
advice.
That's
Stop trying
number
to.
3.
You're coping,
That's
bro.
number 3. Number 2 says avoid what? Creation.
So is it like this
It
is
could
like the list of 8 things to be successful? Pick 5.
That's the list.
Listen.
It's like a build your own lunchbox from
It's-
Taco Bell. Like
it's-
what, I thought
it's
you'd
the
follow all the points of the
context
list.
A faster way to be high value, which means, for example, mitigate risk. That's all he's saying here.
Hold on. Okay, but here's the part that I completely disagree with.
I mean,
And
in
I'm
the
not.
context under what he's talking, I
you're
think.
taking it-
But
yeah,
this
I'm
is-
taking
this
it
is-
a whole other level.
I'm not.
Shout out Brighton for channel member.
This is what you should take it literally if this is the Godfather of the red pill, right? You guys all give this guy so much credit. I don't really know
He's
much
written
about
like 5 books supposedly,
the
right?
hypocritical part about it is that we make fun of girls all the time for not controlling their sexual urges and being hoes all the time. Like she belongs to the streets, all this stuff. You tell guys that they're losers if they don't go to the gym. They're losers if they play video games. You're a loser if you smoke weed. You're a loser if you watch sports. You need to exercise discipline. But when it comes to girls, oh shit, get a vasectomy because you can't control yourself, because you're not capable of exercising discipline. Why do you have to be disciplined in every single aspect of life? Networking, success, all this stuff, watching sports, playing video games. You need to be on your stuff. But for women, nut inside girls with after getting a transgender surgery. That's the one thing you can't be disciplined in.
Sneako, can you stop fucking girls?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Stop the cap.
Hold it to her right now. Don't fuck until you get married.
Well, no.
No.
Better advice.
You
Better
just
advice.
said you can hold it. So don't fuck until you get married.
Better advice is
No. I swear to God.
What,
Right now.
you're saying no.
Are you cool with that? Handshake.
I don't. This argument is so weird to me. What does it mean to stop? Like, why go to the extreme to try to pull Rollo's argument? This is the same thing that feminists do when they say some cockamamie shit and they pull out outliers. They pull out the extremes, right? Like they pull out just components of a conversation that don't really make sense. Fresh, like what are you talking about, Fresh? What is abstinence? Can a guy not go into monk mode? Can a guy not be abstinent? Can a guy not wrap it up? Right? Like, what are we talking about right here? Are we just saying that prophylactics just don't exist? I tell guys ad nauseum, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. If you choose to engage and to partake, wrap it up. You understand me? What's so interesting about all of this is that he's saying vasectomy, yes, but he's not saying abstinence at all. Shit, you want to know the quickest way to get most of your time back? It's to not worry about chicks at all. Practice abstinence, go into your monk mode, and grind. That's what I did in my early 20s. I grinded. And I wouldn't even grind like that in college, to be honest with you. I was having fun in college. You understand? I went to Penn State University, party school back in the day. When I was there, at least. Your boy was enjoying life down there. It wasn't until my senior year, and I was just like, oh shit, I gotta get a job. And then for my senior year, up until, I went to post-secondary school, I went back to grad school to go get my MBA, like the grind. But I was still traveling. I was still doing my thing. I was still messing with chicks, but protected. Not all of this vasectomy bullshit. That shit is trash. What's going on here? See, you know what the real issue is? Is that if you write books, if you're an influencer to a degree where you're writing books, you're obviously giving advice, you have all of this data that you distribute with on a channel, and then you come out with a tweet like this, the context is that you write books, you were the RP Grand Wizard, so if you write a tweet about something, people will probably look at that as advice as well. You know what I'm saying? If Dave Chappelle, if Kevin Hart had a tweet giving men advice, people would always be in the context of that he's a comedian. So if Kevin Hart said vasectomy, we'd all laugh at it. But people are not laughing at Rollo because he writes books on this shit and he's known as the RP grandfather wizard of the space. You understand what I'm saying? So the context of who he is also matters. And I was actually going to say a lot in Grand Wizard as in the KKK. That's not what I meant. Stop it, guys. All right, your boy's been through a lot of drama this week. Don't start me in anything else. I've been sleeping extremely peacefully for the last 6 days. Stop it. You know what I meant. Shout out to Brighton for becoming a channel member. All right, let's go.
Oh, no, wait.
Such a
Here's the real question. Here's the real question. Hold on.
Wait, hold up.
Hold up.
Hold up. Everybody drop some fire emojis down into the chat for Myron's hairline. Jesus Christ, Myron. Drop some fire emoji. Yo, listen, I gotta hit up Myron just in case my shit starts to go. Every time I go get a goddamn haircut, my hairline just goes a further back into my scalp. My hairline just, you know what I'm saying? My hair, if I show y'all some little kid photos, my goddamn hairline was down here. My goddamn, this shit was like touching my goddamn eyebrows right here. You see this shit? This is the hairline of a almost 40-year-old man still doing the damn thing. You understand what I'm saying? But I gotta make sure to keep this line in the contact. When I start the Vegeta, when I start to Vegeta over here, when I start the McDonald's symbol, you know what I'm saying? I won't be able to bag no 21-year-olds anymore. You know what I'm saying? Unless I go completely bald. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to whoever did this to me. I gotta hit up Myron on the back end, like my brother, that shit looks immaculate, my brother. Fire emojis down into the chat for Myron. You understand me? That shit is fantastic, all right? Shout out, my G.
means
Here's
you
a real
need
question.
to
Hold on.
fuck.
Has Sneako f***ed a girl before?
Yes.
Has he had a vasectomy?
No.
Does he have any kids?
No.
He's
Then
plan-
boom, there you go.
So
He's
I
able
know
to
how
do
to
it. He's
exercise
able to
his
do
will.
it.
Plan B. So he would have had a kid, which means he's gonna at some point.
Hey,
We're
listen,
human.
and they still
We're
sell
men.
they still sell Plan B.
No, but the point is
That is the point. He's able to fuck girls, not have a vasectomy, and still not have kids. It's possible.
What did number 2 say?
Yeah.
Avoid family creation. It could be condom or Plan B, but he's just saying to be
Yeah,
extra
another
careful.
form of contraception is what it is, basically.
But he didn't say that, and that's not a good form of contraception because it's not supposed to be reversed. That's what the doctor tells you when you get a vasectomy surgery. It's like you cannot expect this to be reversed.
Absolutely.
It's not, that you shouldn't go into that thinking that you're going to reverse it. And also, a better advice instead of saying never fuck again, maybe for the women that I do have sex with, prepare that she could be the mother of your children. Maybe don't spend time with hoes all the time thinking I need to f 50 girls so I understand feminists and how retarded they are. Maybe just don't f them. Maybe f women that you can see yourself having a family with.
Yo, the heel is turning face of the company. You understand what I'm saying? This is the craziest heel turn of 2023. Who is this guy? Who is he? Is that the Sneako that we knew? Is he trying to get his YouTube channel back? What is going on? Shout out to Sneako. Who is this guy? Shout out to Ty with a $5 super chat. Myron was saying the positives of having one. He obviously wasn't advising it. Well, yeah, he wasn't advising because he said he hasn't got one himself, whatever, hoop. But also, too, he's not talking about the potential negatives of not getting one. Why only introduce the positives and not introducing the negatives as well? Why? And the reasons why he's not talking about the negatives is because it goes against what the Godfather of the RP had tweeted previously. You understand me? My bad. My camera's usually right here, but I was looking for my camera. Usually, you understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. You guys got to think towards, doing things to help folks versus doing things to ensure that your friends' feelings don't get hurt. Right? I've had my experience with that. Specifically over the last week and a half or so. You understand me? So you guys have to understand that there's reasons that we all do things. We're all incentivized as human beings for personal business reasons and what have you. But saying the positives, don't do the potential negatives. It does a disservice to the audience, the young impressionable 18-year-olds that are thinking about how to conduct themselves within life. Now they're considering vasectomies because of that tweet. So toss it up in the air and have a conversation about it. Like Sneako is.
When you first hold on, that's a very good
You won't
point.
be able to detect that though unless you have
Exactly.
experience.
You need experience.
You need experience, bro.
How would
How do
you
you
know?
wait? No. How do you need experience? What does that mean?
How would you know what's good for you if you never had it?
The red pill advice is you need 50 bodies to understand women.
I want to open this one up.
Let's go.
Do you think you need to fuck a girl to tell if she's like family material?
No. We're saying experience-wise.
What does experience mean?
No. Dating, courting, having that one-on-one experience. Okay, she likes this. She doesn't like this. This is weird. This doesn't work. I can tell from experience what works.
Wait,
now,
what does any of that have to do with fucking her?
hold on. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Now, adding in sex, you can understand. Okay, once this point has passed, I can see who she really is. Because remember, people put on front at the very beginning, but when you have sex with somebody, they are more often likely to show you who they really are.
That is absolutely
what?
not true.
What are you talking about?
You hear of husbands who are like, my wife used to blow me every single day, and then as soon as we got married, all the sex stopped. Or we have dead bedrooms now. We were super active our first year, but that is absolutely not true. Sex can absolutely change after you've gotten married. And you can tell, regardless of experience, you can tell who's a 304 or who's like family material without fucking them first. For you guys, you can probably tell just by looking at their Instagrams. Isn't that what you guys are like professionals at?
Yeah.
Just picking out hoes based on their Instagram pictures? You're telling me you have to fuck through like 30 women to find a good... Like, how many conservative men, like if we brought in like real conservative men who have strong families, how many of them are like, yeah, I had to fuck 25 bitches when I was in college to find the love of my life right now that could take care of my kids.
Yo,
That's
it's
a wild
true.
statement. If you want to, that's fine. But don't pretend you're doing it for this fucking altruistic purpose of finding a good mom.
But Destiny, can you admit that when you meet somebody for the first time, right? You're trying to see who they really are, the person, and ultimately you're gonna have sex, right?
Yeah, but Fresh, for God's sake, what does then fucking them have to do with then understanding a different component of them, if they're real or whatnot? What, you gonna fuck them and then all of a sudden you're gonna understand, oh my God, it's just open up like exactly who you are as a person. Jesus, for fuck's sake. That's actually the one of the biggest issues that I had with Kevin Samuels' message is that he would tell young dudes to get married like after like 2 months or something like that. And I'm like, Kevin, how could you but see, Kevin came from a different era. He didn't come from the modern woman era, but he understood the fuck out of it. But at the same time, I'm just like, dog, how many women have I known in my life after 8 goddamn months, these motherfuckers get comfortable and then show a complete inside himself. But I started fucking on the second day. What? I completely disagree with this component of the platform that you have to fuck 50 women in order to understand women. I completely disagree with that. And there's not much of a benefit. I think after your first 10, you have enough of an option set of personalities in order to understand what is value add and what is not. You understand me? But I think that this idea of continuing to pursue up to 50 and then all of a sudden now then that you're all knowing and knowledgeable, right? Like, and then you can pick women more correctly. It just rubs me the wrong way. Shout out to the super chats that are coming through. Shout out to Ty Ty. When Rollo was saying the quickest way to become a high value man, Myron interpreted it as positives of going this route, not the negatives. Okay, yeah, that's sure. But you could still throw the negatives up, or you can have different people, different perspectives, toss it up like a Destiny and a Sneako, so we can have this conversation about it. Shout out, my bro, appreciate it. Shout out to Alex Miner, who joined the channel membership for 4 months. Sneako shine in this debate, but Destiny continues to depend on extreme, unrealistic talking points as his main arguments. Shout out, my brother, appreciate the channel membership. Shout out to Wits and channel member. I believe it all boils down to self-control, discipline, responsibility, and accountability for self and for actions of self. By the way, who is this Sneako? This is the Sneako that is now the face. All right, he's the heel turn. This is a totally new Sneako. Shout out to Wits and I appreciate the $20 super chat, my G. If I had my soundboard in this shitty ass background that I'm currently in right now, I swear I would have hit the damn soundboard for you. I appreciate you though. All right, let's get back active.
I mean,
You don't have to.
But I mean, having sex is like the least important part of seeing what kind of a person they are.
Actually, if you're compatible or not is very important.
If you're compatible, but in terms of like, would this be a good mom? Is it like, what, if she throws it back doggy, she'd probably take the kids like out to the park every day? Like, what does that even mean? Like, like she doesn't swallow. I don't think she'd feed my kid if I didn't make it home in time. Like, what does that mean? Like, so she shows up to blow me every night, so I know she'll be on time picking my kid up from school. Like, what is the correlation here?
The whole package itself, right, is going to include sex. I'm just saying the dating process itself, going through the whole motions, you can see who the person really is. That's all I'm saying here.
He said he wants to call in and tell us what he actually meant.
Okay, all right, here we go.
I guess. Here's a novel idea. How about you tell me, let me call it to tell you what I actually meant.
You know what?
Now, here's the thing. Fresh said earlier, what did he say? He looked at heel turn Sneako in the face, and he said, if Rollo came up here and debated you, he would wipe the floor with you. Okay? That's what he said earlier. Let's get back in there. Show him some respect. But first, couple of super chats. Shout out to Just Call Me Max with a $20 super chat. He should have just said, learn to make Plan B smoothies. Just call me Max, you ain't shit, but I appreciate the $20 super chat. Shout out to Chevio with the $5 super chat. He didn't say nothing. Celebrate that was the first super chat on the channel. Thank you so much for your love, support, as well as your respect. All right, let go.
Let's do it, bro.
Let's go ahead and bring Rollo Tomassi on.
There he is.
Can you hear me okay?
What up, man?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So let me explain a few things here. I wasn't able to do this the last time you guys were talking about this, but so about, gosh, is it now 2 weeks ago? I think it was Tuesday of last week. You guys had Brandon Carter on. Is that with Derek Moneyberg? Or was that Monday?
Monday.
Monday. Sorry, let me get my camera back up there. So Monday, you guys were talking to Brandon Carter. One of the things that Brandon was talking about was you got to love money. You got to be on top of your game. And I love Brandon Carter, by the way. I think he should be a stand-up comedian. I mean, the guy is that funny. He's a great guy, right? But when you guys are on that show and you're talking to him, and he's talking about how he doesn't go to he doesn't go to Publix, doesn't go grocery shopping for himself. He doesn't go do his own laundry. He doesn't have a car.
Listen, I hate. There's not a petty bone in my body, but I just want to just comment on what I see right here. Rollo, I want to slap your barber in the face. I don't like him. I wish nothing but bad times on him. I don't like what he did to you here. This is like a bottom of the chin strap. I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It looks like it chin straps over here, but what was he thinking? What was he thinking? It's beneath your chin line. What is going on here? Who is this coward that shaped you up? I don't like him. I don't like anything he stands for. They need to go and revoke his barber license. I'm just confused. At least go bald. If you're gonna go no mustache, my G, at least go bald underneath the goddamn chin. Just go smooth face, okay? Just go smooth face. Keep it classy. What is this? The strap. If you're gonna do the chin strap, my G, over here in this particular region, you gotta let it look at anybody from New York. To be honest with you, I've been 20 years out in New York because I graduated back when I was 17, 18 and then left for school. It's been like 20 years. My family's still here. But like, I think they still chin strap in New York, right? We don't chin strap on the bottom of the chin. You understand me? This is a tragic chin strap right down here. All right? You can't do that, my guy. All right? Up here. Let it rock up here. Not underneath. This is weird. Makes me feel awkward. All right? If anyone has his phone number, just let him know. Let that style go, my G. Okay? Let it go. Let it go. All right?
I mean, it's Brickle White, but he doesn't have like some basic stuff because his philosophy in life is this, is that anything that takes him away from his grind, anything that takes him away from that, from anything that would distract him or that would be financially or mathematically not a pragmatic choice for him to make, as far as like if he's spending time going grocery shopping or going and, getting food for himself or whatever else. I'm sure he's like into meal prep and everything else, but pretty much everything in his life is outsourced, because anything that he would be spending that time himself to go do, he could be losing money doing that.
What the fuck does this have to do with a goddamn vasectomy? What? Shout out to Dr. Lee, the Chosen, with the $5 super chat. Plan B don't work for women over 150, I hear. No, who the fuck told you that, brother? I'm here to present facts where others can't. Love MTR. Hope to speak on my book with you soon. Over 150 pounds? Is that what you're talking about? What are you talking about? Fake news, guys. That's fake news. Don't believe that. If you squirt in your girl, if your pullout game was, listen. All right. First of all, strap up. All right. I can't say in my life that I've always been 100% on the strap up game. I you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, all right. Sometimes I fuck up. Okay. I've never had a baby, though. I never got a chick pregnant. Ever. Not that I know of. But that's also because the pullout game is fantastic, all right? I don't have a leaky faucet, all right? But during these times where you mess up, okay, don't ever think to yourself, don't give her a plan B because she's over 150 pounds, please. I like to dispel old myths over here, okay? Dr. Lee, stop that. And if I'm speaking out of turn, Dr. Lee, send me an email, mediocretourismviews@gmail.com. Send me an email to your research. I would appreciate that. If you're for real about that. All right? I'm only human over here, though, guys. All right? I'm going to tell you guys to go about this the correct way. Shout out to Brighton, $2 super chat. Spoiler alert, he never answers the question. Shout out, Brighton. Shout out to King Shock. First time super chatting. My G with a $20 super chat. This isn't actually Sneako's heel turn. This is him regressing back to his old critical thinking self. Shout out to MTR. Hit me up if you need beats. Well, hit me up if you make beats. Great beats often get featured on the end of my channel. Hit me up. Send me some of your value, my brother. But I appreciate the $20 super chat. Here's the thing. When I look at content creators that always wanted to be famous, Sneako, people that I've had, let me not even get into this crazy chick. Who's obviously in love with me. Let me not even get into them. But people who will stop at nothing to be popping, I think, like, here's what I think about sometimes is what I'm impressed with when I, from an entertainment perspective, right? When you look at Sneako in the valleys and dips that his personality has gone on from, and I don't really know his old version as so much as the red pill version. What's clear is that a part of his brand is this ever-changing, ever-evolving type of a person. The fact is that a lot of us in real life go through that as well. And also the fact is within a space of male content, you've not really ever seen that. Why? Because we often talk about this idea of stoicism, of being even, of being disciplined. But also, too, I think Sneako is, if he wasn't a content creator, he'd be the exact same type of dude that would have benefited from the content within the space. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's younger, but he's a content creator. So he's always evolving, and he shows and demonstrates components of his life. What I will say, though, is that It's fantastic content. All you got to do is just look at wrestling promos from the 80s, from the 90s, from all of these different eras of WWF to WWE, and the character progression throughout all of the stories is what made it more interesting. You understand what I'm saying? But shout out to him, because I think that the progression shows a lot of progress within it. Let's keep going.
At that time. So when I was listening to this and I was thinking about this myself, because I was actually at the same time, I'm like, helping a friend move and all this. And I'm thinking about this. I'm going, you know what? If you want to be a high value man, if you want to get to that apex level as fast as you can, that's it. How is that not the best way to go about it?
Land the plane, brother.
So the point of that whole tweet, which was basically a throwaway tweet that everyone started like snowballing into something else. I've got Ben Shapiro coming at me. I got Matt Walsh coming at me. I got Lauren Chen coming at me. I got all these people off of Daily Wire because it was just easy, low-hanging fruit for these guys because they think that that's what the fucking manosphere is all about.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
It's not, okay? That was not fucking advice. Everything that is on Twitter is not advice.
Oh, God, Rollo. Oh, gosh. This is he's getting real passionate. Okay, he's getting real passionate. He came in with a very even-keeled temperament, and now he's riling himself out. He's beginning to curse, right? Like, so it seems like within his mind, his emotions are getting control of the talking points that he has. He didn't really say much about the vasectomies. What he said was essentially Brennan Carter, who's an entrepreneur, I believe he's in the fitness industry. Brennan Carter says, I don't spend my time wasting my time on shit. And I do everything in my day to work on my purpose or to work on my business. So essentially, whether or not he's not going to spend time walking and go get food when he can just pay to have someone bring him food to him. Because if he sits there and he walks there and he tries to go get food, the 30 minutes to go walk and go get it, wait on the line and then come back is 30 minutes that he couldn't spend on making content or making something with his business, right? That's why I say to a lot of you guys, you have to understand what your per hour rate is in reality. What is it that I mean by that? Well, let's continue with the Brandon Carter reference. Let's say Brandon Carter does his per hour rate and he says that I'm worth $500 per hour. I, on average, during a working day, can make $500 per hour. Well, if I have a decision to pay for someone to come over here and for $30 deliver me food as opposed to use that same $500 an hour to go get food, then why would I ever go walk and go get food? Because he knows his per hour value, his per hour rate. You understand me? So if he walks and go get that food, that's going to cost him $530. Where if he just sits right here, works on his purpose, and he delivers the food, that's just $30. You understand what I'm saying? That's essentially what Rollo was trying to say in a very wishy-washy, roundabout, nebulous sort of a way. But notice again, he doesn't touch on the vasectomies, which I thought was very interesting. Shout out to the super chats that's coming through. Shout out to Elijah, talking about what a high value man without acknowledging what the Most High said is goofy. Thank you so much, Elijah, for the $5 super chat. Lego.
Okay.
Was that a joke?
No, it was not to say.
And let me also say this as well. Debating live is extremely difficult. So trust me when I'm going over this content. Trust me, I understand how difficult it can be to get your point across. But what I'm trying to also bring up as well is that when you do want to have your point quick, snappy, to the punch, stay on topic, be prepared for any of their troll attacks, their wit, as what we'll see Destiny most likely do, or Sneako most likely do coming up here. And never try to really be in your emotions like that. Don't start cussing. Don't start to get all up in yourself. That's never really a good look from a debate perspective. You join politics, it's probably a good thing to do. All right, let's keep going.
A joke, but it's like, let's just say it's a hypothetical, okay? It's
What?
showing you. Now, listen,
Hypothetical is.
for just 5 seconds, okay? This is no joke here because everything that's come out of both of you guys' mouth has been nothing but distraction and misdirection because it's easy clicks for you. So here's the whole thing. When I'm talking about get a vasectomy, don't be concerned with.
I like how when he's mad, his glasses get uneven on his nose. You see?
Yeah, let him finish.
Okay.
I'm really mad about this, bro.
Guys,
Shall we keep going? Are we just gonna have jokes thrown in here?
Really heated about this.
Is that what I get to? Is that what I get to do it? Okay. So here's the deal. when I'm talking about this, when I'm throwing this out there, why wouldn't you do that? Would you not have been more successful, Sneako, had you not had to go through certain things? If you had a kid right now,
is it advice or not?
You would be playing the game with a handicap. You would be playing the game with your fucking hands tied behind your back.
Okay, so Rollo,
there are guys right now who I have a lot of respect for, and I'm sure you have a lot of respect.
Just like I said, guys, what you don't want to do, especially around men, is to come through with a very emotional. You got to stay stoic. You got to stay even keeled. Because what's the first thing that Destiny went through? Look at his, look at where he gets all mad and upset, and his glasses get all messed up. And then, come on, guys, this is serious. Okay, now I will also say, from Rollo's perspective, he's written books about this shit. He's very passionate, obviously, regarding that. So he's coming through thinking that he's gonna have a debate based on accuracy, but my guess is that it's gonna quickly devolve into a lot of trolling. Because of the demeanor that he's having. He just talked for a solid minute and a half straight, and as soon as they interject with something, he starts cussing at them again, which is not good form for coming up and having a conversation, a true conversation.
Respect for as well, who all have kids, but you know what they try to do? They try to keep it under wraps.
Okay,
Try
so
to make sure nobody knows about the kids. Okay.
what is advice?
So here's okay. First off, this is not advice. Everything that is on my show or is on Twitter is not automatically advice. Now, but here's the thing. You know what you're gonna say, because here's the deal. When I was on whatever podcast I was telling this, I was saying exactly the same thing here, is that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth on Instagram or on Twitter or on a YouTube, there's no way you can't go on there without somebody going, this is what these guys are saying to do. Because if you have this set automatically, that if it comes out of your mouth, it's automatically advice, it can't just be data. It can't just be statistics. It can't be, nothing can be just delivered sort of like, here's some data for you to look at. Okay. Nothing can be set. Nothing can be given to you without somebody going, well, the reason why you're telling me this is because you're telling me that this is the best way to live my life. Okay. So when I'm watching Brendan Carter and I'm watching all this going on, and I'm looking at like guys that I know and guys that you know as well. And when these are the guys who are like saying, you know, be on your game, do this, do that. They're the ones that are giving this advice. All I'm doing is saying, hey, look, maybe you should not focus on family. Maybe you should not get married. I mean, I don't know why that's big.
Maybe advice.
I'm not saying it's advice. What I'm saying is that this is over the fucking top, that everybody wants to take it out of context, which is exactly what you guys have been doing.
So what is it? Can you tell me what that tweet was if it wasn't advice?
Yeah, so here's my thing. I would say, well, if it's out of context, help me understand what the context is. Because from my position, you write books, you give advice, you tell stories, you craft frameworks, you build structures, you have graphs that you show. Right, like all of these things. So if you're tweeting something, now I will also say I've never seen his tweet before. So then what is it? What is the context? And how is getting a vasectomy the quickest way to becoming a high value man? It can be the something that could be added to mitigate risk on your way to becoming a high value man. But how does getting a vasectomy make it any more quicker? Abstinence would make it quicker. Monk mode would make it quicker than snipping your balls. Shout out to the super chat that's coming through. Shout out to Hussein with a $20 super chat. Yo, I love Sneako character story. We are watching Sneako chapter 6. His search of life and meaning led him to religion, and is benefiting him greatly to reject the delusion no matter what bubble you're in. Shout out to Hussein for the $20 super chat. We're gonna act like I got a soundboard right now. Shout out to SP with the £10 super chat. If everyone has their own subjective opinion on what the goal of a high value man is, you can't have a general list of objective methods to obtain it. Those two things cannot logically coexist. Completely agree with this. The best definition of a high value man, RIP, the late and great Kevin Samuels. I often think, listen, from my perspective, I'll just leverage Kevin's definition. But I think a lot of other content creators kind of get a lot more. I think some of them actually, you know, and I'm not saying any content creators here, but there's some content creators that didn't like Kevin. So they try to create their own definition, and Kevin's been dead for a little while now. So they'll just ignore that definition, try to create their own thing. I see some dudes talk about high earning versus high value. I just leverage Kevin's shit because I thought it was the most accurate when I consider all of the dudes that I know for sure that are of high value. It was always those 6 things that Kevin would say. It's always the 6 things that Kevin would say. I think Kevin had the most accurate definition. I've never seen a more accurate definition. If you guys have ever seen a more accurate definition, maybe I'll switch and reference to another definition of a high value man. But if you can't, then Kevin had the best definition. So just leverage what was already created. Okay, let's go.
It's not advice. What it is it's okay. It's saying that this is the most extreme way to do things. Okay, here's the.
It's not advice. It's the most extreme way to do things. Okay, that's the context. Why would we want to know the most extreme way to do things?
Here's the quickest path to. If I told you this, look, if I said the quickest way for you to make $1 million,
That sounds like advice.
is to go steal it from.
That's mutant. Sneako said it sound like advice. It damn sure does sound like advice. This right here, the quickest path to becoming a high value man. That sounds like advice. He's got to take accountability for the context of who he is. And listen, as a content creator, maybe we all forget our own context to a degree. I had someone tell me the other day, like, yo, bro, you know, like you low-key famous. And I'm like, shut up. Meanwhile, a couple of, we walking by someone, someone recognizes me. And I'm like, well, that's not famous. I'm a Z-list YouTube creator. That's all that I am, to be honest with you. But other people might look at me differently if they meet me out into the, because they watch me or what have you. You understand what I'm saying? We can all forget our own context, especially when you're creating content within the four walls of where you ever reside in. You can kind of forget the context sometimes. But if you say that you are the researcher of the space, people will look at your findings from your research and accept that as advice. I agree with what Sneako just said right here.
Bank or goes to steal it. Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it? If I tell you to
wait, what did he just say?
go bank or way for you to make $1 million,
That sounds like advice.
is to go steal it from the bank or goes to steal it. Does that mean I'm telling you to go steal it?
Yeah, but what the fuck? But how would someone know looking at your tweet that this is steal money from a bank type of advice? So what you're insinuating is that irrespective of what it is that I tell you, I'm just going to tell you what to do, even if it's negative, and you not take it as advice, even though there's no context around this not being advice. So are you admitting that number 3 is trash, or are you saying that all 8 are trash? All 8 are go steal money in order to become a millionaire advice? Or is it just number 3? What?
If I tell you to go fucking jump off a cliff, are you going to go jump off a cliff?
Right,
I'm also, by the way, here's the other thing is I'm also responding to Dr. Richard Reeves in this as well.
This is so ridiculous because there are people that around the world that believe that if you kill certain people, you get 72 wives or 72 virgin wives in the afterlife. So where do we draw the line? Like where? That's why the context of this shit matters. I saw a documentary the other day, and it's this tribe somewhere in Africa, and when someone dies in the family, they cut off their fingertips. This is legit, this tribe. They cut off their fingertips to sacrifice their fingertips to their gods for like, and only the women cut off their fingertips. Legitimately, to sacrifice so that they can have good virtues going into the future or to protect like the sanctity of their loved one that just died. So then re-ask the question, if I told you to cut off your fingertip, would you do it? Well, it depends on the goddamn context. Depends on the context. Normally, no. I would not do that shit under the westernized American context that I'm used to. But over there, they do it. They cut off their fingertips and shit like that. Come on. Back out.
Okay,
religion is a
lot of context
motherfucker.
about it, sure. But all the rest of the list, you're equating vasectomy to lifting, game, play to your strength, resisting up on easing your focus. The rest of it sounds like general advice.
Okay, well let's say so let me ask you. So is it the vasectomy part that's throwing you off?
Yes.
Genuine good advice, right? The rest of it.
Is it the vasectomy part?
Correct. Yes.
Vasectomy part. Do you agree with pretty much everything else except for the vasectomy part?
The first 3 is weird because then I don't even know what the red pill idea of a high value man is. Is it just being rich? Like, what's the point of having all this money and not having a family? Why be that rich? The guy who's always grinding. Whoa, Brandon Carter doesn't have to do his laundry. Sick. What else are you going to do with your life?
Right. maybe this is actually meant so that you'll get it. You'll have a freaking epiphany about how all the shit that you have to sacrifice to get to that in the first place. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to live the kind of life, let's say like a Brandon Carter is, where you're going to outsource your entire life? Or are you going to actually have kids? Is that something that's a priority for you? Because I will tell you right now that if you follow this kind, if you were to actually follow this list right here, that is the fastest way for you to get to a point where you are more high value.
Nope.
Right. So here's the thing. So when I say that, people go, well, that's not what a high value man is. A high value man is what I define it as, which is he's got to have a good, loving, devoted wife. He's got to have 3 or 4 kids or 10 kids, depending on whatever culture you're talking about. All of this stuff that makes up whatever that person who happens to have that is, then that's suddenly the definition of what a high value man is. So what I'm saying this is the best way to become a high value man. I'm not saying this is the only way to become a high value man. I'm just saying that this is the fastest way to go and do something like that.
You've been talking a lot for 5 minutes. What is your definition?
But see, here's the thing. So I think they're going to switch over to the definition of a high value man. But then this is where I disagree with Rollo. This is not the quickest way. Quickest way, that number 3 should have been monk mode, or should have been abstinence, or should have been wrapping it up. This is what I completely disagree with this. It seems like he still thinks that this is the quickest way. And that's the point of contention. They're going to move on to high value man, but understand that that's really what the point of contention is. If you stuck right on that point, that's what it is. It's a risk mitigator. It lowers risk significantly. All right. But it still doesn't mean you can snip off whatever that duct is in the bottom of your balls, or ball, like myself, #body positivity. You can snip off that semiconductor down in there and still go off and fuck 50 girls a week and waste all your time. But what about that is in his list? It's not in the list. It's not in the list about being very disciplined with your time as a man in the face of women. Nothing about that is in the list, at least from what I remember.
Of a high value man.
It doesn't matter. That's not what I was talking about in this.
It doesn't matter.
I have what you're talking about.
Shout out to Super Chat. I missed a couple Super Chats, my bad. Shout out to Dr. Lita Chosen. Yet again, Plan B don't work for women over 100. Did I read that one before? Oh, yeah, I read that one. Shout out to Purple Mayo. Point of this tweet was to generate a discussion, aka likes, comments, views, reactions. No such thing as bad press. MSM covered this tweet. No, there is a such thing as bad press. There's been people that have been beat into bad press submission, and their audience can never be rebuilt back up again. You see what I'm saying? And let me also say this as well. When they say no press is bad press, well, good press is usually more to the bottom line than bad press. Okay. Usually more. Let me think about that. It's usually more unless you have a bad boy image. If you have a bad boy image, when you're a Krishan Rock or a black and blue face, when you're a Howard Stern, right? Like, yeah, you can write off of hate. You can write off of the bad press. When you're a Jerry Springer, yeah, you can write off of that. When it's like, well, I guess he doesn't have a bad boy image. But his show has a crazy ass image, so they can ride off of that. But when you're someone that's thought as a leader of a space of men, when you're someone that's thought of, good press will be a lot better for you than bad press. When you're trying to be a leader of men, of stoic men, of purpose driven, that's generally where a lot of your ish is going to come from. Is it going to get more eyes onto his channel? Yeah, perhaps. But the same way that drama and beef get more eyes onto a channel, people are going to come over there for that drama, that beef in the short term. But are they going to stay there? Are they going to become a long-term audience member and not just a watcher of that particular bullshit that you're in? Lego.
That's what the first part of the tweet is: how to become a high value man.
The fastest way to become a high value man is to recognize the fact that you've got sacrifices to make. Okay.
So like what is that? Telling like stories from Vietnam. Like, just say, what is a high value man? It's the first part of the tweet. What does that mean?
You tell me what a high value man is.
Shit.
Because here's the thing: is it doesn't matter what I'm going to say is a high value man. You guys are fucking
because it's your tweet.
It doesn't matter what I say is a high value man, because everybody takes this. The point of the tweet is that everybody is going to take this and then insert their own definition of what a high value man is. That's the bait.
No, I don't agree with him. Sorry, I don't agree, Rollo. Oh no, you can't say the quickest way to become a high value man, but you cannot then say the definition of high value man. Because what if high value man to some people is to be married in a committed relationship by the time that you're 24? What if that's some people's subjective definition? But then you write, yes, this is the quickest way to become a high value man. So he's supposed to get a vasectomy when he's 20 and get the shit tied back together, the semiconductor tied back together when he's 23? What? Guys, I don't know how many viewers we got into this chat. I don't know how many likes that we got, but sure enough, you guys came in here and was like, oh shit, MTR is live. I haven't seen my brother in at least a month and a half live streaming. What is he talking about? Well, take the time to understand what I'm talking about and then go click that goddamn like button. Show your boy some love and respect. Shout out to the super chats. One of the first L's I've seen Rollo take. Shout out to Long Haul with a $2 super chat. Hey, listen, we all gonna take L's. It is what it is, but it's not about taking the L. It's about what he does up after the L. You understand me? That's some true man shit. Shout out to Coney with a $2 super chat. It's not an advice. It's an opinion. Shout out to Coney, $2 super chat. Shout out to Fungi Film Reviews, 20 Canuck buck. My guy, this is so simple. Niet speaks to the idea of the will to power. Meaning everyone has an individual view of a high value man. MTR, I'm surprised you're stuck on a semantic argument. Yeah, I'm not stuck on a semantic argument, but listen, if I say, listen, as a man, you should be doing X, Y, and Z. And then someone asks me, what is a man? I have to be able to explain that. Oh, well, you know, a man is just everything. Well, how can I define what a man is? Or how can I define what a man should do if I can't then define what is that man? Right, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Within my logically driven brain, I mean, emotionally, if I was in my emotions, I'd be like, oh yeah, well, you know, well, every man should just follow that. Let's just follow that, follow the leader without actually critically thinking about it. But I think that, like, if you're telling people what to do, but you can't define the subject of what you're telling people to do, to me, it comes across as logically imprecise. So it seems like to me, they're asking, well, how do you define it first so we can see if the 8 things that you laid out make sense for that? You understand what I'm saying? Because of the way that Kevin Samuels defined high value man, which not everybody agrees with. Did he ever get a vasectomy within the 6 things that he mentioned within a high value man? No, he never mentioned that shit. So it just depends. Let me see. Shout out to King Shock yet again with the 20 Canuck bucks. Shout out my G. If I had my damn soundboard, I'd big you up. Let's not get it twisted. Kevin Samuels was the real Godfather. Tomassi's definition of high value man is like the left defining a woman circular garbage and nonsensical. I'm gonna start my own podcast right now. LOL. Oh, it sounds like you agree with me, my G. So I don't know if I would have defined it as woman circular garbage. I just think he needs to define what it is. Like, if they ask you, well, what it is. So if you're so confident to write about them, and this number 3 I have an issue with, then you should be able to define what it is so they can start backwards assessing if the logic that you put forward, the formula that you put forward, matches up to the end result of what a high value man is. Makes sense to me. Shout out, my G. Let's go.
Kids when you're 16. Then your tweet doesn't work.
That everybody is going to take this and then insert their own definition of what a high value man is.
What if a high value man is having 12 kids when you're 16?
Yeah.
Then your tweet doesn't work, does it? What if your definition of a high value man is being getting into a trade and having 5 kids by the time you're 22? Then it also
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Esports professional.
You're absolutely making my point for me right here. Okay. What I'm saying.
My point is that high value man. You gave a list of 8 things. Do these 8 things to become a high value man. Do 1 through 8 to become A, and you're not defining what A is.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
What is that?
Okay. So here's the thing. So if we're talking about family creation, we already talked. Okay, so you want to go? Okay, let's go one by one. You want to go one by one? Okay.
Yes, yes, please.
Before one by one, what is a high value man?
We can't have an argument if I don't even know what your definition
is. The very fact that you're even asking this in the first place is the actual point of the fucking tweet. Okay, so if you're going to be a high value man with the fucking hands tied behind your back,
I don't agree.
What is that? What does that mean to you? That's the point.
No. This is the issue. The issue with men today is that we don't have structure. We don't have frameworks. We don't have those that have done it like a motherfucker up on high saying, this is what it means to be what I have done. That's the shit. We got to take away this participation trophy. We got to culture, especially with these young boys. Leave it for the women. Continue to pander to the women. We got to have reality being said to men nowadays. Fuck all this shit. To be a high value man, what does that mean? What does that mean? Listen, all men need North Stars. We need something to be able to be like, that's a dream that I can get to. And here are the things that I have to do. Those 8 things should be the things that you have to do. Then you come across that third one like, bitch, what the fuck that shit mean? What you mean I gotta go get my balls snipped? How? How does this align up to being a high value man? Because like so let's say that Rollo said, being a high value man means that you never have kids within your life. Well then, vasectomy might be it. Like, vasectomy might be it. And I think that's what Sneako's point is that how do you push high value man when there's a feelings-based definition? When it's just feelings-based, it should not be feelings-based. We have to take the emotionality on giving young men instruction. Give them hierarchy. Give them framework. Give them that. Not, I can just feel my way into being a high value man. What? That just, to me, that sounds like a young woman just feeling like astrology signs are accurate. What? Shout out to Fungi Film yet again with a 22 Canuck buck. This is not the argument, though. The argument is on vasectomy as the way to prevent childbirth. I agree. Even Kevin spoke about children and cost. He absolutely did, often. Like I said, high value might be 4 children at 20 years old versus CEO of Forbes, fire show. My G, we're aligned, my G. I see why you're a part of the MT Army. We align. Shout out, my G. I appreciate the 22 Canuck bucks from Canada. Love Canada, by the way. Got to get it back up there. Some of the most beautiful women in the world is up in Canada. Don't believe me? Go up there and visit. Shout out to Matt DCL with the $20 super chat. The point is not to have a kid early while you're trying to build yourself up. I agree with you. All he did was give the most extreme way to make sure that happens. This feels like digging for content. Not really, my G. It's not, to me, more listen, you could say being completely abstinent is extreme. You can say that for modern men in today's modern woman sexually liberated environment. Monk mode might be extreme. Going to go get your balls snipped can also be extreme. So I think just saying that it's just extreme, so it's fishing for content, is not necessarily true. Number 3 could have been be abstinent. But why wasn't abstinent? Why is it specific to a surgery that has a 15 to 10% chance of being reversed so that you may never have children? What I talked about in my original video is within medicine, they have something called standard of care, which is what are the benefits of the medication in conjunction with the cost of the medication, not just the monetary cost, but also the side effects as well. What is the risk of taking this medication? If I'm dying of something, and there's a 100% chance, 99% chance that I can get the potential benefit of this medication to not die, but the side effects might be something crazy, like you bleeding out your ass for 3 weeks. Well, I don't want to die. I'll bleed out my ass for 3 weeks from this medication in order to not die. Meaning that the benefit that I get of the medication is more valuable to me than the cost. How does the benefit of getting a vasectomy in your 20s over monk mode, over abstinence, over prophylactics, versus the potential side effect of never having kids, a 10 to 50% chance of never having kids in your life? How do those two things weigh out? And why are we giving this advice to young and impressionable young men? Now, I realize that he didn't say that it was advice, but I still think when you have the context of him being a writer, giving advice, and then the context of a tweet like that, it's got to be talked about. Shout out, though. Shout out to the Child Time Pod with a $20 super chat. Just showing some love, MTR. Child Time. I appreciate the love, the support, as well as the respect. Let me see. Shout out to So Extra. Def shouldn't encourage vasectomy, but wish I waited. All right, thanks, G. I don't know what you meant by that. Shout out to Arctic Byron. This is the equivalent of when Matt Walsh asked the professor, "What is a woman?" and the professor says, "Someone who identifies as a woman." Shout out my brother for the $5 super chat. Did I miss any others? Shout out to Justin Flores. Me personally, I'm not taking advice from a guy with blue hair and doesn't go to the gym. Sneako is an actor deep down. All he cares about how many times he gets laid, and you can see it on the show. So Juan does not believe the heel turn. Only time will tell on that, my G. It'll be interesting to see how his content matures, especially as he dives deeper into his faith that he now claims is a part of him. All right? But at the end of it, there needs to be definition. I've been saying this shit from Jump Street. There has to be hierarchies. There has to be definition. I have to know as a 28-year-old man that I'm not doing as well as a 22-year-old man. And how is it that I know that? Well, there should be certain markers or indications of needing help, right? Like there should be. Listen, when you work in a corporate America type environment, they have opportunities-based discussions where they talk about their strengths, they talk about your weaknesses. There's a lot of young men out there that are floating that don't invest enough within their time to book a consultation with someone and to go get therapy to understand how far behind that they might be from a purpose perspective, from a mental health perspective, in comparison to their peers. All right? But we absolutely need definitions around this thing. That's why I think that Kevin defining a high-value man was one of the turning points within the space to give people an anchor of discussion. And only the strong survived, or the high-value men that fit by the criteria in the men that let enough of their ego go to benefit of the things that what Kevin was saying. Shout out to Ben Kenton with a $10 super chat channel member. We here, we active, we winning. You already know what time it is, my G. We don't fall, we don't stumble, we get right back up and get it popping. Let me see. Did I miss any other? Shout out. Uh-oh, Wrench Turner in the building, my guy. Thank you so much for the love, support, and respect, Wrench. Another content creator down in the space. Shout out to Marsalis Temple with a $10 super chat. A simple analogy is a cake. If you follow the steps, you'll get a cake. Then someone asks you to find what cake will these instructions make me. Instead of saying a flavor or what type, you say whatever cake you define that it is. Listen, listen. Shit, I went and I bought a bar cart from Amazon. Shit came in 1,000 pieces. You know what I did? I looked at the instructions. I solved it with some of you crazy motherfuckers would try to put a 1,000-piece bar cart together with no instructions. That's not me, all right? That's not me. I looked at the goddamn instructions, and the bar cart looks incredible. Chicks be walking in the crib, they look at the bar cart, and it's like, man, look at the craftsmanship on this shit. I said, I know. Go down there and grab yourself a little something spicy, all right? Shout out to Marsalis Temple with a $20 super chat. Shout out to Matt DCL, $5 super chat. Vasectomies are 90 to 95% reversible. I don't know if that's what you meant, but you said 10 to 15%. Yeah, I meant the backwards then if I said it the incorrect way. So I appreciate that. All right, let's go.
Whole discussion is the point of the fucking tweet. You guys...
The point of the tweet was, you've got some conception of a high-value man. Here are 8 points that you think you need to do to get to it. And now you've gotten blown the fuck up on the vasectomy thing, which you probably realize is fucking retarded. But you're too old and stubborn to walk back from it. That's the point of this conversation.
I'm not too stubborn to walk back from it because the point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro? Douche nozzles?
Yes.
Guys, what do I say? I say don't name call. I say don't name call when you have these conversations. Don't name call. And especially, listen, if he called him a douchebag, they would have continued off in the conversation, but his boomer is showing. You douche nozzles. What the fuck is that? What is a douche nozzle? Hold up. God damn, it's not gonna bode well for him. It's like two Gen Zers just beating a boomer into submission online. You know what I'm saying? He's out of turf, he's out the water. All right, he's up on the internet. They're just, Sneako's just sitting there with his hands crossed like this. Destiny's down looking at and they killing him.
The point of it was to get douche nozzles like yourself to have this conversation in the first place.
How old are you, bro?
Even Myron gonna pull it together.
Yes, you guys are idiots.
Yes.
Why do you guys come in here from Twitch straight? Like, how you guys are legitimate in all of this? I don't know, because everything I've heard come out of you guys' mouth is just confident ignorance. That's all I've heard from this.
No, Myron. Okay, I'm not asking you like in terms of the debate. You call yourself the Godfather of the Red Pill.
I call myself the Godfather of the Manosphere, okay? Other people have called me that.
Okay, great. That's very.
Do you understand?
He's got to stop being so
Father
emotional.
or grandfather of the man? Which one is it?
Whatever it is, the old guy of the man.
Listen, he should not be doing debates unless he can pull his emotions or passion up out of the talking points. This is not going to work well, especially between characters like Destiny and Sneako, who grew up on the goddamn internet. And they're so used to trolling. They're so used to witty remarks. They're so used to people coming at them. They're so advanced when it comes to internet politics. You gotta, emotions not going to get it. And you know what? At the end of the day, you know, I do think that his inability to understand some of the logical inconsistencies when it refers to what he said, also to the context of how he is viewed, you know, I think it could be a learning lesson for him. Okay?
Manosphere. What is your definition of high value man? This is the #1 talked about topic on all of these shows. So I want to get a clear definition from you. What is it?
You tell again. It depends on the person. It depends on the culture. Depends on the. So here's the thing. Let me tell you. Maybe I can explain this to you, Sneako, because at least you got your ears open here. The thing is that when we're talking about what's the top G, what's a high value guy, you probably haven't heard this because you don't read my stuff and you don't watch my shit. No. But I've also said this is like the red pill has to be for everybody, or it's for nobody. So if we're looking at a guy who's draped across a Lamborghini and he's got hot chicks with him, and we say that's what I'm aspiring to, but I'll never make that because I live in a fishing village on the coast of Chile, right? That means I can never match that high apex of a high value guy.
The guy in the car?
But the guy who happens to live in those villages or happens to be in a different culture or in a different country or whatever else, he can still benefit from that because however he's defining himself as a high value man in his fishing village, maybe that's what he can aspire to.
This has nothing to do with Chile and the village in the car.
See, here's the thing: is you guys want me to say, okay, a high value man makes $100,000 a year. He's fucked 50 chicks. He's got like that's the thing.
That's not what I want you to say. I disagree with that. I'm asking you because I come on this all the time.
Disagree with it. What I'm saying is the point of the tweet is so you will ask that question.
I'm past the tweet.
Okay, so it sounds like again so he puts a tweet out and he's saying the point of it is just to ask a question. You know, at the end of the day, we're all asking a question right now. So to say that Rollo is not being successful in that would not be true. He's being successful in that because now what are we all doing? Asking the question. But I think that it's interesting that he called into the show because he had to have known that they were going to ask him what this particular version of high value man means so that they can link up what he's saying to his definition of it so they can link it together. You understand? Shout out to Fungi Film Reviews yet again. MTR, enjoy the weekend. I forgot it's Friday. It is Friday. Just suggesting, though, read more Friedrich Nietzsche and his philosophy. Dude died 20 years ago and is an OG. YouTube Fight Club. Nietzsche, who yells and calls old man names very ignorant. He called them a douche nozzle first, though. The only thing that I heard was Destiny talk about how when he gets upset, his glasses get off center. Listen, but you call a man a douche nozzle, there's no coming back from that. You understand me? That's the ultimate insult. If I'd have never heard one. All right? Shout out my G. I appreciate the support this stream. Guys, hit on the like button. Get the likes up. Get them up.
Tweet. I'm past that. Look, I'm asking as somebody who's really interested in the red pill. I listen to a lot of this content. I want to know what your definition is, because if you have a definition that's completely off of what I think it is, then I guess I'm not red pill.
Well, here's what I think guys ought to do. Would you like me to give you some prescriptions? Is that what we're trying for here?
No, I want to know your opinion of a high value man. What is it?
I think a high value man is whatever is contextually makes that guy a high value guy in whatever culture that he happens to be in. If that's money, that's money. Right.
Well, define in the culture that the majority of your audience lives in. Has he answered one question that they asked?
Now that's what we tend to focus on right now. But if I'm going to say that,
value man is a guy that has the things that makes him a high value man.
All
That's
right,
base.
let me-
the things that make you a high value man. Okay, what is that? You know, we've been trying to.
Six,
We're
okay.
never going to define it.
Let me just kind of, because here's the thing. When I read the tweet, I interpreted it right with a higher step. Like, he's listing things that if you follow these things, right, and you actually follow them, you're probably not going to become a right. And to be a high value guy, I would say it's a combination of things. It's obviously having your money on point, having social proof and status, having respect from your peers, having a network of other high value men, right, which I agree with Kevin Samuels on that, being fit to a degree. If you have all these things in place, you'll be considered a high value man by most people in most societies, right, if you have these things in place. Now, with that said, to get there, right, you obviously have to focus and get your shit together and make sure that you focus on getting there. What he's saying is all these, the list of things that he mentioned, if you follow them, it's going to mitigate your risk of becoming a fuck up and not getting to that point as quickly as possible.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to mitigate your risk. But Myron, even you have to agree that he's not saying it that way. So Myron, it seems that he understands that Rollo is not coming in and winning like Fresh said that he was when he told Sneako that Rollo was going to wipe the floor with him, because they're asking him key questions that I guess he hasn't put enough time to think through and try to come up with definitions with. So Myron is coming in right now and he's utilizing this idea of it mitigates the risk, which I agree with Myron on. It does mitigate the risk. It's an extreme way to do that. But within the context of who Rollo is, I think it's confusing to the average consumer of his content. Shout out to Maya with a $10 super chat. The ladies coming through and supporting. Uh-oh. Look at the volume in that hair, mama. I like it. The circular argument Rollo is almost having with himself at this point, and his inability to listen and provide a backing for any of his points is hilarious. Shout out, mama. I appreciate you. Shout out to Aaron Lord for becoming a member for 8 more months. The nozzle of the douche is the part that goes in to wash the viscous innards. Shout out, Aaron. Appreciate so much you continue to be a member of the channel. Listen, he called him a douche nozzle. Yo, that is so disrespectful. The douche nozzle, so it's the nozzle of the douche machine that goes in to ensure that the pH is balanced. How more disrespectful can you be to call someone a douche nozzle? That's gonna be in my lexicon of insults in going into the near future. The nozzle of the douche, the nerve.
When I think that's so important is that this tweet kind of gets taken out of context. He's saying the quickest way to become a high value man, avoid and do these things because you're limiting distractions. And he's using Brandon Carter as an example where he's in a monogamous relationship with a girl. He outsourced a lot of his things. Why? So he's able to focus on making more money. He's getting rid of obstacles. And I think that tweet demonstrates that.
Yes.
You're getting rid of obstacles so you can become a high value man in the quickest possible way. Now, I know the most controversial one is the vasectomy. Though there's other ways to get the same, I guess, effect from vasectomy. Let's say you use a condom, let's say you pull out, whatever it may be. He's saying, okay, if you get the vasectomy, then we know for a fact you're not going to have children.
Yeah.
It's really no different than having a condom or pulling out or whatever it may be. The point is to not get a girl pregnant. How you want to get there is up to you, whether it's through a vasectomy, using condoms, whatever. But he's making it retard proof. Hey, vasectomy, because I know even if you are the dumbest guy ever, you can't fuck this up.
I don't think it retarded.
He could have just, listen, the whole thing that he wrote, he could have just taken that one out. The third one, why is it even needed? All right. He already says avoid family creation right here. He says do not get married, avoid family creation. Why even add get a vasectomy? He said avoid family creation. The only reason to get a vasectomy is because you want to avoid family creation. I mean, this one is like a sub bullet, but he has it here purposely for a reason. If he had this whole list of 7 and he reduced it to, if he had his whole list of 8, reduce it to 7, and never put this one in here, then he would not be subjected to these questions from these Gen Zers. these disrespectful questions as he's being called old, as he calls them a douche nozzle back. You understand me?
A guy could be a high value guy.
No, when I say retarded, I mean as in stupid. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is this list is the foolproof way, if everything is followed, for you to get your status up as quickly as possible in your 20s.
That's not what the list is, though. Because what you just said was advice, and he said it's clearly not advice. So you're interpreting it.
He said he's joking, and
yeah, he
trying
was
to
just
provoke
joking.
people.
Like half of it was just for jokes.
But I'm telling you, I started out telling you guys how I interpreted that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? He's saying
You're not wrong.
Right here.
But
You're not wrong.
so that people can interpret it how they want, which
Exactly.
will create discussion. That's
And
the point.
you know what's funny?
And it worked.
He asked a question earlier. So you asked him a question, what is high value? You answered it. It's whatever you determine that to be.
No, that's bullshit. None of you guys believe that. If some guy comes on this show and he weighs 350 pounds and he says, I'm Diamond 1 in League of Legends. That's what I want to do with my life. Would you go, well, if that's what you really want, you're high value. You wouldn't say that.
No, but once again, it starts in the mind. You're going to say, for example, oh, that's not true, which I agree it's not true. But ultimately, you as a man decide what's high value for you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You
Value is
don't.
probably something that's determined by.
Oh my God! So you just say you can sit on your couch and all day playing video games, eating Cheetos, stroking to the hub, and you can just call yourself a high value man? We need framework. We need instructions. We need a North Star. We need hierarchy. What is this participation culture entitlement bullshit? What is going on? I'm about to blow a goddamn blood vessel in my goddamn neck. God damn it! We cannot just make shit up. We're men. Hold the line. We are just as delusional as these feminist women who just create shit based on their feelings. Then these women who walk into who like, yo, let me read your hand. I want to do a palm reading. Oh, let me just feel where your future is going. Shut up. None of that shit is real. Women are the #1 supporters of feeling-based content. No, you don't need no data to sell to women. You don't need no hierarchy to sell to women. You don't need no instructions to sell to women. You just gotta make them feel good. Oh God, oh my future's so great because Grandmaster Poobah, Miss Cleo just told me that I have great fortunes ahead of me. Women are the main consumers of astrological content. Why? Why? Women are the main consumers of palm readings. Why? Why? Women are the main consumers of fortune tellers. Why? Why? Because they're emotionally based. I can't fault a woman based on their nature. That's how they're created. But I can damn sure tell men, no, you need a rubric. You need a syllabus. You need to get your shit together because you don't live in this faux reality that women can live in. Because you're a man. Jesus goddamn Christ. Shout out to the super chats that's coming through. Shout out to Quest getting queso. Keith getting cheese. Gotcha. Pregnancy rate after vasectomy around 55%. Also, they don't hurt. You do feel discomfort, but listen, I got my right ball taking out my G. I think I can take any type of vasectomy at this stage of game. I've been through a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can still, wait. You can still get pregnant with a vasectomy? Pregnancy rate after vasectomy around 55%. You mean after you get it reversed? Shout out, bro. Appreciate the $10 super chat. If I miss another super chat, I apologize, guys. Let me just scroll up real quick. Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, I just hate when we start to go down this goddamn place of like, no, you could just define whoever a high value man, right? Like, no. Stop the bullshit. Stop it. No.
Society. High value means that you have a worth to other people. You're just talking about being comfortable, having high self-esteem.
I agree, but the tweet...
You don't say you agree with me. I just said the total opposite thing you just said.
No. I agree. And that point where, for example, people determine you as high value.
Destiny's a monster.
Saying high value could mean, in your sense, whatever that means to you.
No, it doesn't.
What?
That's what he's saying.
No, he doesn't know because he doesn't have a good definition. Because he knows if he says anything, he's gonna get pinned
You sound
down
like
on
the
it.
girls who believe they're a 10 because they describe themselves as a 10 in the mirror.
If you
Yes!
You're missing the point.
and he's like, I'm high value because I'm the manager at my McDonald's, you probably wouldn't agree that he's high value.
Yo, that was the perfect example, Sneako. He's essentially saying that that's why Kevin used to slow chicks down, and he was just like, listen, you think that you're a 10? What ad agency do you work for? What covers of magazines have you been? Are you telling me that you're one of the most beautiful women in the world? Is that what you're telling me? It's delusion. They just make it up. Guys should not be making up their high value man status. They should not. Let me see. Shout out to SP with a £5 super chat. F and F have repeatedly said you don't determine your value, the market does. Yet are the first to defend Rollo as he goes exactly against that mantra. That first set of that first statement, I 100% agree with. You don't determine your value, the market does. And the definition of high value man, specifically from a quantitative perspective, that number amount is going to change over time. There's some that say it's not at $100,000 from an income perspective. It might be somewhere close to like 140, 150, 160 when it refers to major metropolitan cities. You understand me? But thank you so much for the $5 contribution. Let's go.
Is that when he says high value, you're going to determine that as a man. What does that mean for you? Success is a part of it, yes, but their success could be owning a farm or having a business. It doesn't matter. He's saying to get to that point, you need focus. Ultimately, that's what he's saying. Just be focused.
Word salad.
I mean, look, we make fun of the girls all the time for saying that they're 10 out of 10s. All the time because they say it in their head, I believe I'm a 10 out of 10. No, that's ridiculous because society determines how attractive you are. Society determines how valuable you are. You can't apply that a lot. You can't make fun of the girl, the ugly fat whale who thinks she's a 10 girl boss queen, and then also say a high value man can believe it in his head.
Well, I gave you guys a 10.
You have a good definition. You talked about some shit, being relatively fit, having a network of people that are very social. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that sounds like
I do, because here's the thing. For me, I will define it because that will allow you guys to see where I'm coming from when I'm interpreting that
we know where you're coming from, but we have the tweet out there here. He doesn't know where he's coming from. He seems a little lost right now, so we're trying to figure out, what exactly he means. But
I think, again, the tweet, I think that's the important part of the tweet is that it allows people to interpret it how they want, and which is why we're talking about it right now. The tweet did what it was supposed to do.
Why would you? If I'm giving advice to people, I don't want them to interpret it how they want. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point of my message? If I'm telling
not giving advice to people, that's the whole point of this. Do you want? It's like impossible to It's impossible to put anything out there without people interpreting it as follow these steps. Here's your 12 rules for life, and you're going to live a happy fucking
rules
life.
for being a high value man. That's literally what your tweet was. Do these things. High value. What is the wording of the tweet? Go back to the tweet itself.
So here's in that wording of the tweet. What's the last part of that? What's the last one? Resist easing up on your focus. Whatever's like, do you want me to insert what you ought to be doing? You ought to be coding. Is that what I should say? You ought to be becoming a professional athlete. I don't know what your fucking strengths are.
You can simplify and say work hard.
Again, so here's the thing. If I say, you know what, you ought to be an NBA player. And it doesn't matter if that you're 5'9", fucking stay on your focus, and you're going to be the best NBA player you can possibly be.
No, that'd be terrible advice.
That would be absolutely terrible advice because this is advice. That's why. Okay, this is a list that is meant to get so you get an idea of what the fuck it is that you're going to do so that you can become that high value man.
Okay, so it's not advice, but this is a list of things that you could do to become a high value man. Did he not just say that? Isn't that not fucking advice? Jesus Christ.
So you get an idea of what the fuck it is. Okay? That would be absolutely terrible advice because this is advice.
This isn't getting advice.
Why? Okay,
this is why.
This is a list that is meant to get so you get an idea of what the fuck it is that you're going to do so that
what it is that you're going to do
that you can become that high value man.
So that you can become a high value man. Shout out to SS with a $10 super chat. The show, so the live showed that these individuals are grifters as ODJ, O'Shea Duke Jackson. He rich. Oh. Shout out to O'Shea. They don't know nor believe in what they are saying. A high value man is a man with character, which is developed through faith, consistency, and community. Listen, I want to get if I have my soundboard, I want to put the rich into my soundboard down here. So, shout out to O'Shea. Yeah, high value man character developed through faith, consistency, and community. I don't believe with I don't disagree with the second part of your statement, SS. Appreciate the $10 super chat, my brother. Shout out to Put a 1 down in the chat if I should put rich into my soundboard. Once I get my soundboard back, put a 1 down in there. Put a 2 if you like, nah, MTR, shut up, you bugging. Shout out to Fresh Joe's. Why are there so many simps? And do you believe simps and betas are the future? No, I feel like the simps beta culture is going down now more than ever before, but they won't completely and totally ever be extinguished. Honestly, I think the answer to that question of the rate of decline is going to be how quickly can the content in the space become much more seen as valuable in a mainstream platform perspective, or if the content over here can get the money and the backing to create as many TV shows, movies, music, works of art as what men have been previously shown and indoctrinated under for the past several decades. It would have to be the same. It's like a money issue at this. It's an investment issue at this problem. So more eyes are going to hit already the shit that makes them in the Simpson betas. Shout out, my G. Shout out to Edward Base, $5 super chat. I think there's actually ideals to look at when progressing to that status. I'm just saying. Appreciate that, bro. Shout out to Across the Table with Christopher. What up, Chris? Greetings, MTRs. Uncle Chris checking in. Sneako and Destiny actually have some valid points. They do. You took a look at the blue hair. He obviously does that to trigger all the red pill people off because he's obviously on the opposite side. But he does bring up some valuable points. And at the end of the day, we're a critical thinking platform. We assess the critical points. We don't just ride for people because they share similar viewpoints as you, okay? We are about authenticity over here. We're about integrity over here, and we keep that by any means necessary, as what some people do not, as what's proven throughout this week. Sneako and Destiny actually, oh yeah, shout out, Chris. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to C-Boy, 118, $20 super chat. If you said, what? If you said that Pearl laughing at having one ball is a horrible thing, you need to stop making jokes about it. No, it's all about context, bro. Listen, friends of me, myself, I can make fucking jokes about it, but when someone declares themselves as an enemy to you, and then they make jokes about it, and then they also do it on a platform that is supposed to ride for men, well, one must consider the authenticity of her talking points if that's what she allows. I think that someone with actual, true, authentic intentions, even outside of deeming that someone else is an enemy, would have shut that type of conversation down. There are plenty of people on Kevin Samuels' platform that would get on to Kevin about his hate of black women. But when non-black women try to go up there and disrespect black women, what did Kevin do? He shut it down. If Kevin stayed quiet and allowed that shit to happen, and if Kevin's saying that no, he rides for this community, he just wants them to do better, then it went across his whole entire platform. You understand what I'm saying? So it's what is the contextual intent of it happening. You understand what I'm saying? But I appreciate the $20 super chat, my G. All right. Let me keep going. Oh shit, did I miss another one? Shout out to the Purple Pill podcast. Is there a purple? Oh wait, I missed one. Shout out to Optimus Prime with a $10 super chat. Rollo's contradictions are making my making my brain hurt. Yo, look at all the ones down into the chat. I gotta get the rich soundbite into the building. All right. Shout out to the Purple Pill Pod with a $20 super chat. Rollo can't admit what a high value man is because it would exclude himself. Oh shit! And most of the men who subscribe to him can't piss off your own cult. Shout out my G for the $20 super chat. I haven't thought about that point. I'm not really sure what type of audience that he had. I mean, here's the thing is that like, most of the dudes that subscribe to, let's say Kevin, we're not most of them are not, just from a numbers perspective, they're not high value men, right? But then Kevin also defined other terms like Henry's, right? You know what I'm saying? I forget the other terms that he would define, but they were dudes who might've been working on themselves becoming a high value man. So just because Kevin defined it, it didn't push all the other people out. He just defined it and said, this is what the standard is. Reach up and jump that standard so you can have the most options available to you. You understand me? So, I don't know. There's things that I say on this platform that a lot of people don't agree with either, but I'm still going to say them. Shout out to Leon008 with a $5 super chat. This is a good troll for people to have the conversation. It's a list, and it isn't a list for what high value is. The list increases the likelihood. You're right. I don't think that it is a troll, brother. He's not saying that it's a troll. What did he just say?
Protect yourself. Why? Okay, this is a list that is meant to get so you get an idea of
It's a list that is meant for you to get an idea
what the fuck it is that you're going to do,
what it is that you're going to do
so that you can become that high value man.
so that you can become a high value man. You wrote, this is a good troll for people. He's not saying that this is a troll, my brother. Listen to what the man is saying. Is he saying that it's a troll? Huh? Huh? Lego.
Protect yourself. Don't get married. Avoid family creation. Vasectomy. Again, this is over the top shit. Anybody who knows anything about my material, when I throw this out there, they know this is over the top shit.
What else on that list?
Feeds the fucking fire for douche nozzles like
What else besides the
Ben
vasectomy?
Shapiro.
I don't want to be a douche nozzle, but what else?
Yeah, besides number
Sneako ain't shit.
3, what else here is over the top?
Besides vasectomy.
Well, live consistently, okay? Well, what if some people will say, well, that's vanity, right?
Myron, there's no way you agree with that. Saying
Well,
live
actually,
consistent.
hold on. For Rollo, it might be. Okay, to be fair.
I already,
Okay?
guys, see, here's the thing.
But you're missing, are you not hearing anything he's saying? Like, do you need to blindly agree with him? Because nothing he's saying is making any sense.
Bro,
Yo, Sneako and Destiny teaming up is like in the Universal the Tournament of Power, Frieza and Goku just matching together to defeat Jiren. That's what this is. God damn, who saw this shit? Who saw this shit coming? Was it Sneako anti-Destiny not too long? I don't know. I don't follow the shit like that. Weren't they coming together and having completely opposite points? Doesn't Destiny not like Andrew Tate, but Sneako follows Andrew Tate? What is going on here? What is going on here? What pairing is this? How did this happen? Myron stressed. Rollo's pissed. All right, let's get back at it.
It's not making any sense to you because you don't understand the concept of the tweet. That's why.
You can't even.
Fusion.
Understand what okay, let me hold stop here. Did you understand what I was saying about Brandon Carter?
Yeah, he doesn't do his laundry.
No, but he's taken everything to this extreme level. Like to a lot of guys, Brandon Carter's not a high. Okay, would you agree with me that Brandon Carter is a high value guy?
Sure.
Okay, you know who wouldn't? Ben Shapiro. You know who wouldn't? A lot of other people because they think that they're living out their own high value ideal. Do you understand that?
Context.
Like the 350-pound esports player who's living out his ideal of a high value man.
Yeah, whether or not that's working for him is irrelevant to the tweet. When I say, okay, when I'm talking about Brandon Carter, you say you understand that. He's taking it to like this extreme level.
How is Ben Shapiro not a high value guy?
Like stay on top of like his for Brandon Carter. What do you think Brandon Carter's definition of a high value man is?
Probably the same as mine.
Which is
Determined by society. If you have respect from your community, then you are a high value person. If people respect you.
so being pro-social and having people like you and depending on the
I know you don't agree with him because he's Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro is definitely a high value man.
okay, but so let's just say let's say
Agree with that?
He does. He said so.
You don't think Ben Shapiro's a high value man?
let's take for do I think he is? I don't think he's a high value man.
But I'm confused. How could you not think he's a high value man and you won't give a definition of what a high value man is? I think that's the point of their conversation, is that right? Like if you can go as far as to say that he's not, then what are the requirements for high value man that you're judging Ben Shapiro not to be a high value man? Shout out to Arctic Byron with $5 super chat. My definition of a high value man: 1, good personality; 2, financially stable; 3, independent; 4, good network of friends and people; 5, family oriented; 6, has options. Shout out, brother. Shout out to Ayub. I can't blame FNF for standing behind Rollo like their brothers. MTR, what would you do in a situation? I would just speak of what I think is correct. Is what I would do in a situation. Shout out, bro. Appreciate the $5 super chat. SS, LOL, I'm part of the percentage of women that watch your content. The anime reference, A100. Hey, 90s baby. What up, SS? Appreciate the $10 super chat, mama. Appreciate you. Of the 28 and 3/4 women that watch this channel, thank you so much for your support. Guys, hit on the like button as well. All right?
Wait, what is his definition? He owns his own business. It's like one of the most successful alt media platforms in the world. He's married his fucking young sweetheart.
Right. You know who else is not a high value guy? Elon Musk. Let's see. Who else? Jeff Bezos. All you got to do is just go. All you have to do is look at the decisions they've made in their personal lives. Okay. How are we going to define that? If I'm going to define that,
you haven't. You're the only one who hasn't defined it.
Because I'm not the one defining it for fucking Jeff Bezos. I'm not
What the fuck? So how could you tell him that how could you say that he's not a high value man? And who is defining it for Jeff Bezos then? Who is? Is Jeff Bezos saying that he's not a high value man? Is that the reason why you're saying that he's not a high value man because he said it about himself? Or is there a framework that we can judge if he's a high value man? According to Kevin Samuel's definition, he is a high value man. So whose definition are we judging them by? Shout out to Queese getting the cheese, the rational fail. $10 super chat. Appreciate the support, my G. Shout out to Pan Slayer, $5. Rollo is confusing high value with what he considers alpha.
Not the one defining it for fucking what's his face? Ben Shapiro.
Whale can think she's a 10 as long as that's how she defines beauty to herself.
Well,
like,
you guys, well, hold on, wait, Sneako, you just defined Brandon Carter as a high value guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that fits your definition of a high value guy, but I will tell you right now that that would not fit the same definition that, say, Ben Shapiro would have for a high value guy, because he doesn't have his babies on point, he doesn't have this on point, he's not going to church or synagogue every day, right? So to him, he's not necessarily a high value guy.
I don't think synagogue has to do with high value. That's like
because that's the way that other people would define it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
is that true?
it's not, value is not subjective. When we talk about value, we're usually talking about some sort of exchange in a market.
No.
Value is usually what are people willing to do or give for a certain thing. It's not defined by this. If one man is on an island with no other people, there is no value.
No, this one over your head is the idea of being high value.
No, there is no idea of being high value. And if it was anybody else on the show, you guys would be roasting the fuck out of them for saying that's your idea of being high value. You would be roasted. If any of the girls come here, because you do this to girls all the time, so it goes right. They're like, I think I'm a 10. It's like, why? Because I'm so special and blah, blah, blah.
I say you're not special.
I just gave you Brandon Carter as an example. I just gave you Brandon Carter. I gave you, we can use any single example you want. You could be the 500-pound guy who just does esports, or it can be like Brandon Carter or the top G. Yep. Any one of those guys. The thing still applies.
All right, look.
Are you better off? Are you better off without the obstructions? Are you better off without the bag?
Everyone here has kind of a different thing. Like me, I've defined it. This is what I think makes you high value. You might have a different take on it. You might have a different take on it. I've defined it, and then I took my interpretation off what you said. If you want to get these things, and it makes sense to me, those things that you listed. But I'm seeing here that everyone here kind of has a different interpretation.
Wait, that's not true. All four of us probably roughly agree on what makes you high value.
No, we don't.
The three of us probably
Ben Shapiro said you said you have high value. I don't think
having like some amount of like physical fitness. We all agree that that's decently valuable, correct?
On some level, yeah.
Okay, having some amount of like social status. So you've got the attention of a lot of people and you're influential. We all agree on that, right? Mm-hmm. Having some amount of financial success, right? You have freedom to take care of your family, retire if you want to, even at an early age. We all agree with that, right?
Okay.
And having some level of success with your family and friends, right? We all roughly agree on that, right?
Okay.
If you have those four things in check, you're probably a high value man.
No.
And none of that has anything to do with vasectomy.
It's more than that. See, here's what he's saying. I can add more to it because for me, in my head, what high value is way more than that. To you, that might be important, but to me, it's not. That's not everything.
What's a key component missing from what I said?
Is a high value guy the guy that marries somebody from a foreign country and brings her over here so she can get citizenship? Because that's your family dynamic. My family dynamic is different than that. Does that make me high value or low value?
Exactly. It's going to depend on the person.
If I'm in a heterosexual marriage for 27 years, and
but see, that's the thing, is that he's calling out things. It's just like, okay, well, if you want to define that as a high value man, add that to the lexicon of your definition of what a high value man is. It's such a unique thing, right? Like it's such a unique thing within a total definition of what it is. That just like, wait a minute. So you can have all of these things. You can have the network of the biggest. Well-known high-value people. You can have all of this status. You can have an immaculate body. You could be making $500,000 per year. But then if you go get a wife from somewhere else, then that negates you from being high value? What? Make it make sense, baby Jesus. Shout out to Major Mind and Soul, $10 super chat. All value is perceived value. Yeah. You know, and your ability or your want to pay for something is called your willingness to pay. Right. And I just bring that up because on your perception of the value is what you are willing to pay for that said product, service. If people see you as valuable and desirable, then you are of high value, regardless of income. If women want you and if men want to be you, you are high value. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I disagree with that to a degree because you could be faking value. Right. So the perception of your IG could be all of this money, all of this, that, and the third, but you lease all the cars, you're $500,000 in debt, you got all of these school loans, right? You got a couple of baby mamas that you don't post to your gram, but people perceive you as being high value, and because of that perception, they might buy into your course, your product. But how many times have charlatans been exposed because they're actually not of high value, but they portray high value? Similar to these women using these Instagram filters and shit like that and Photoshop to make their ass look a little bit fatter, to make their stomach a little bit more flat or chiseled and this, that, and the third. It's like a lie. So it's just like, just the same way that the women do this on their Instagram shit, does that actually mean that she has a great body or that she's actually pretty? Right? Like, it doesn't mean that. It just means the perception is what it is, but in reality, it may not be true. But shout out, bro. Appreciate it. $10 super chat. Shout out to Third Eye Prophet. This space needs to talk about purpose more. They cover it as money, but it's more than that, and people like Destiny don't get it. Appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Let me see. I think that was all that I saw. Shout out to Jared Braggs. This is dumb and circular. The question is about vasectomy. The two are stuck on definition because they think that it's a win, but that was never the point. I agree at this point. I think they need to get back to the vasectomy thing because I think that was the kind of the linchpin in the discussion. Shout out to Marsalis, $5 super chat. Rollo acting like a modern woman and fresh and fit, defending it is crazy. Yeah, you know, it's pretty odd to see. You know, in this particular manner, I think Myron's not actually defending it. I think Myron is trying to switch it and pivot to his definition of a high value man. Fresh seems to be blindly following it. Although I don't agree with the things that are happening here. I think a definition would have been helpful, and I think a more formal explanation of why vasectomies matter in conjunction with this story regarding Brandon Carter would have made a lot more sense to me. Let's keep going.
Not in a polycule or some shit. Like, it's like some people will say you're high value because you do that. People will say, Rollo, you can't be red pill because you're married, or you can't be married because you're red pill. Okay. And suddenly I'm blue pill because I'm actually in a relationship where it's like clothes on her end, clothes on her end, and clothes on my end. But if I go and I talk to the top G, or I talk to somebody who's like in an open relationship, is that guy high value because of that? This is not a judgment call. I'm just saying that the definition is going to be different. Even if you have all those things, even each one of those things that you just mentioned is still it's still subject to the context. I agree with what you said, Destiny. What I'm saying is that from within each one of those attributes, people are going to have something wildly different. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to use that for blog fodder and topics to go and do, you know, quick hit videos on because they just want, you know, click through rate for something like that.
What would we say about women? If we say, what is a high value woman?
You tell me, man. It's like, again, this is the definition.
Bro, this is like your wheelhouse. This is your chance to steamroll.
I don't think you understand why wheelhouse is. Quite honestly, I don't think you do.
Red pill shit. Isn't that what you do?
Your
so you
name
should
is
know,
the
like,
rational male.
Yeah, a high value woman is.
I don't talk about high value women, dude. In fact, if anything, I say there's no such thing as a quality woman because it's an ideal that guys have in their heads.
There's no such thing as a quality woman?
No such thing as a quality woman because guys have this. The quality woman is an ideal, but we could talk about that when I get there. But the thing is like when you're building a relationship or when you have this idea in your head, you want to know why guys get into so much fucking trouble in their marriages? It's because of that ideal. Because every guy who ever got married thought that she was the best fucking thing in the world. Otherwise, he wouldn't have got married to her. And then until he gets across the divorce table from her, now she's a fucking evil monster.
That's whenever you genuinely don't think that there's quality women in the world?
I don't.
So is his wife not a quality woman? Why stay married to her if she's of no quality? I'm so confused here. Also, too, I don't like Destiny asking about high value women. I think. That was an easy win for Destiny because if you're going to ask a definition regarding a high value man, you know for damn sure he's not going to have a definition of a high value woman. So it just seemed like a quick hit on the scoreboard for him as opposed to really asking something because he really wanted the answer to it. But maybe in his head he had some type of way he was going to make that into something. I don't know. Shout out to Stanley. Rollo's points was for men who wants to achieve financial success, and this whole vasectomy thing is for men who feel that they need it. Appreciate the support, brother. Lego.
I think that there are women who have different attributes than others that match very well with guys. Sure, there are good clicks, of course.
I believe
But
he's
the thing
married.
is like the idea of the quality woman is an ideal that guys have that gets them into a lot of trouble. That's why they're in love with the ideal, not the actual person.
But that's not what they're asking. They're just asking for, how do you define a high value woman? Not that men marry or get in a relationship with the ideal of a woman. It seems like he's moving the goalposts of the particular question. I don't know why at this point.
There are high value men, but there aren't high value women.
I'm not saying that I said there aren't high value men and there aren't high value women. Okay, it just depends on who we're talking about.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro.
In the
It's so
context.
nebulous. Like,
I
I
get
don't
what
even
you're
know what
saying.
the fuck we're talking about.
I get what he's saying, but
I
once
feel like I
again,
need to do a
Oh,
mushroom before I
Fresh.
come on
Go
this
ahead,
show.
Fresh.
That's what it feels like.
Fresh, define it for me, baby.
No, you know what it is, Destiny. Is you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. That's why.
Opinion on any of this, and I'm surprised because you write about this all the time. You wrote a whole book about it. People that really respect it, and I have
And
no
you guys,
idea.
You guys might be confused because I'm the one that says there's no such thing as a high value woman. A woman that's a woman gets her value directly from a man that she gets in a relationship with, because all women have value, but not all men have value.
All women don't have the same value.
Yeah, they're all different.
Don't
Depending
even
on-
think about it. You know that's not true. If I give you a woman with 100 bodies and a woman with 0 bodies, if I give you a woman that's 500
Of
pounds,
course.
if I give you a woman with 5 kids, so
here's
yeah.
my thing. Okay, here's my thing, because I've said this before.
I know men must become and women are. I know you're about to do that speech.
No,
but I'm just
I
saying there
wasn't
are some
gonna say
women that
I
are
wasn't gonna
better
say
than
that.
others.
I wasn't going
right?
to say that. Of
For
course,
sure.
yeah, of course. But all women
More
have
quality,
value to some
more
level, but
value.
not all men have value because men have to build their shit up. So what I'm saying is that a high value woman
that's not even
a high
true.
value woman gets her value from being with a high value man.
I don't even think that's true.
Because
All men have value to some
The
extent.
metric of success for a female is being able to get the best man that they can get.
And men can build and do things. In places like China, where you're limited to the amount of children, what do? They opt for boys because they can go out and work and fucking get jobs and shit and do things around the fucking house or whatever, right?
Yeah,
They-
in the fucking 1980s. The one child policy hasn't been around since the mid 90s, dude.
Sure, but when it was grossly favoring the birth of boys because you could do more with boys than you could with women. Just the idea that like
At least that was the
women are
perception
men-
until now they're facing the consequences of that.
True. Well, so is Japan. That's a super
I mean,
homogenous.
that's
blah,
one
blah, blah,
situation.
like,
Okay,
the
you're
birth
using
rate's
China, but
declining.
let's be honest here. Why does it say women and children off the boat first, and not men? Women have
it's a
always
chivalry
had. No, yeah, it's a chivalry thing, but why is that? Because if you
By the way, I thought the one child policy, I thought that ended in like the 2000 teens. I didn't think that was something that ended in the 90s. I went to school with a young lady from China. Actually, the grad school that I went to is like 50% international students. A lot were from China. And her family had another girl. And because the family had another girl, they didn't actually kill the kid, but they made the family suffer. They hit them with some type of debt that they couldn't pay off, so they had to live destitute because they brought another girl into the world. It's some crazy shit. We so much we take advantage of in the Western world that we don't even have to think about. Shout out to SS again, SM8. I'm shaking my head. I'm on my ODJ and tricking. But seriously, isn't family legacy a part of a man's value? It can be. It absolutely can be. Listen, what I tell listen, family, relationships, community, these aspects don't get talked about enough on this side of the internet. I'm gonna try to do as much as I can to find out interesting, value-added ways in order to continue to bring it up in its importance. Quick short story, because I know that there's a segment of the internet that just rides off of how many chicks that they can bang, this, that, and the third. Also, too, thinking towards building family relationships. It's not necessary as a man to be a part of a legacy, but is a strong component if you have the opportunity and availability to be able to do that. But then also, my neighbor married, had a sudden stroke. If he had a stroke and he was single with all of his chicks all around, and he shut down, can barely walk, can't talk anymore. He was like late 50s, right? If he didn't have a family to help him through there, he probably would have been gone already, right? So even outside of medical, there can be benefits of it as well. So, but I think that many of these young dudes don't think towards kind of how their life might turn up if they don't have connection with someone else. Listen, the greatest relationship of your life is going to be with a significant other. If you want to live monk mode, that could be up to you. I know that's not going to be me. Listen, I much more value my Saturdays and my Sunday mornings now as opposed to my Friday nights getting it popping and my Saturday nights getting popping, trying to find new girls and this, that, and third. In my 20s, it was all good, but now this shit is, it's not as fun as, anymore now. You gotta start, you know, upgrading and looking to different stages of life. The same way that Sneako was demonstrating within this content right here. If authentic, this seems like this is a new stage of life for him. Shout out to Kem78, $5 super chat. Been a big fan of your show now for over a year now, fam. Shout out, brother. The RP Godfather is regressing to a more feminine position, giving vague answers and circular arguments. Shout out my bro for the $5 super chat. Listen, we all got to be held to the task at some junction. I've been held to the task many times over the past 5 years of me doing content. We all got to be held to the task. If it doesn't make sense, we got to have a discussion about it. Shout out to Puka Fellow Records. $5 super chat. MTR, appreciate everything that you do. But it seems like a lot of you in this space are too afraid to call out male content creators. I mean, I'm calling them out right now. I mean, it's not a call out. It's not beef or anything like that. But I mean, if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So we will talk about it. We will have a discussion about it. All right. Shout out to Nilhad, $5 super chat. Super sticker. Thank you so much. Melanie Memes. Okay. I like girls named Melanie. Some people prefer to pay for Cartier. Others fine with K Jewelers. Trying to debate who is better. People can't just be happy with what they value. Melanie, I don't think that's any component of the conversation. I think that the closer component of the conversation is on the strength of men being able to understand that there's levels to this shit, that there's hierarchy to this shit, and that there's a North Star for value, and there's a North Star for being a high value man. I don't think that it's men just having to be cool with being of whatever particular value. You know what I'm saying? But I think that men need instruction manuals and pamphlets. That's what I think that they need. You know what I'm saying? Now, to a degree, I understand what you're saying. I think that there's way too many materialistic bullshit that goes off in our society today. Let me tell you guys something. From the time that I graduated my undergraduate degree and the time that I graduated my grad school degree, I doubled the money that I made, but I paid the same amount of rent for my new spot. You understand what I'm saying? It's because I don't have a materialistic mindset. Even the spot that I recently moved down up into, it's relatively the same amount as my old spot. It's upgraded to a degree, I will say that. But it does not supersede the income or the revenue generation that is coming in, right? Like, I understand what you're saying. At the same time, though, I think it would be dishonest as to not think that men need more instruction. They need more advice. We're a generation of single mother households and men being raised by single mothers that soften the blow of their inadequacies. You understand what I'm saying? They soften the blow of their bullshit. They coddled them as opposed to push them out there and let them fail. So we need some structure. Lego!
You have 100 women and one guy, you can still continue society. But if you have 100 men and one woman, we're fucked.
Women are the vulnerable sex and men are the disposable sex. That's why.
Women.
Hold up. Shout out to Nilhav, $10 super chat. Hafiz said the truth will come out as time goes on. RP ideology. Here's the thing. He could have said that 10 ways from Sunday, but it's the way that he said it that fucked up his brand. It's the way that he said it. That their outcomes is no family. And these RP guys are teaching the exact same thing. Feminism teaches women. Lego.
Women have value inherently.
Appreciate
so
it. $10 super chat.
Since every woman has value, for a woman to be high value, she's got to be able to lock down a high value guy. There's a reason why women take a man's last name and not the other way around. Women, when they meet each other and hug, the first thing they ask typically is, "Oh, do you have a man? Do you have a relationship? Tell me about your kids, etc." When two men meet, what do? Shake hands. What do you do for a living? Men are judged on creating value. Women are judged on creating children. Typically.
Listen, the amount of times that I've had women, first thing they ask me is what I do for a living. Like, the amount of times I be the first goddamn question, I'm like, easy, Bubba, easy, chill.
Now, are there some women out there that chase success and making money, whatever? Sure, but that is not the main goal of a female. The main goal of a female from a biological sense is to procreate. For a woman to procreate, she's got to be with a man. Typically, they want the best guy. For a man to procreate, he's got to create excess resources to be able to attract that woman. So what we bring to the table is different. And what I would argue...
I don't disagree with any of that, but there are high-value women, and there are probably high-value men.
I think a woman's only high-value if she could lock down a high-value guy. That's my take.
Okay, well, at least you have a definition
At
least he has a def.
Which, again, I see all of us here at the table have different opinions, which is great. But that's my take on it. Like with a high value man, a high value
I
woman.
mean, no. I mean, what you want me to say is a woman who has a low body count, who is, a girl from the Amish Dutch country in Pennsylvania, who's never, known another man, doesn't have any social media. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, but again, it's those are ideals. Okay.
Yeah,
The
but
other part
ideals
is,
are important because ideals are what we strive for. An ideal is the whole.
and they're also- and those ideals are also what lead us astray, which is why this list is fucking useful. That's
Ideals
why.
don't lead us astray. Ideals lead you into a better life. That's the whole point of an ideal. It's the best version of yourself. You're never going to be the best version of yourself, but the path to being the best version of yourself.
Every guy who ever thought he found his fucking soulmate, who ended up on the opposite side of the fucking divorce table from her, had a fucking ideal about that woman.
Sure, and every man
Isn't
that
he
dies
married?
happily surrounded by his family who had a
Oh,
long.
yes, I know the pastoral scene with everybody. Well, yeah, we're surrounded by his family. You know what? You know that like 90% of the population of the United States doesn't die like that. They actually die in assisted living, and nobody knows about it until the next morning.
Okay, as opposed to you who was tweeting about dying.
I ain't gonna lie. I was just in an assisted living facility not too long ago, and the amount of rooms that I walk by, and there's no family, there's no friends. It's just a person, both men and women, sitting in an assisted living facility with no one there to console or to comfort them. It's a reality that I think a lot of people don't really understand. Shout out to Men Tuition, $10 super chat. I like that name. MTR, can we get a Hafiz for? y'all ain't shit. Hafiz. Come on, brother. Hafiz. Don't do that, brother. Don't do that. All right. Shout out G. Shout out to No Half for $10 super chat. Rollo Tomassi was on the whatever channel. Oh, was he? I should probably review that. Talking about he's married for 27 years in a loving relationship, and that he never cheats on his wife because he respects her. Probably because she's a quality woman, as what he refutes. Let's keep going.
His motorbike in an accident. Okay, dude.
You said you wanted some black
Fucking-
heavy metal.
that is a fucking
in your car and play Slayer.
Con fantasy.
Yeah, like,
Guys,
come on.
let me hit these chats real fast.
And we got another show coming
yeah,
up.
we got another show coming up. I'm
Sure.
gonna go through this real fast. All right, so we got Kid Blue RB goes, Rollo dodging the defining a high value man is like the LGBT dodging what a woman is. Feels like I'm watching Matt Walsh documentary right now. You're the grandmaster of RP. You out of all people should be able to define what a high
He
value
can't
man
define
is.
high value male, but he can define us as douche nozzles.
All right, let me.
That's pretty funny though.
Micro she says, Myron, you're my guy, but you're giving
That brother is upset.
Rollo an out.
You're giving him
Stand
an
on the
out.
chair standing on so he can continue to hang himself with his food.
I know you really want to defend him because
Well, here's the thing.
I know you base a lot of the show around that book, but like, bro, he's making absolutely no sense.
Here's the thing. Everyone is interpreting it different. Obviously, I have my take on it. Rollo has his take.
He doesn't
Chris has
have a
his
take, bro.
We all have different takes on
He
this.
doesn't have a take.
That's still a take.
That's still a take though.
That's still a take.
Okay.
It is.
If this was some LGBT shit or some woman shit, we would be all laughing and roasting the fight. Rightfully
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
If a woman
Destiny's
came out and was like,
correct.
what makes a woman high value? And she's like, well, if she's in her moment and if she's girl bossing it up as hard as she can, that's a high value woman. Like we would be roasting.
That's
the
the
fuck
same.
out.
Is he lying? He ain't lying.
Argument he's making right now.
Not what I'm saying. It's not it's apples and oranges. That's the problem with all this shit. Is like you don't even understand the nature of the tweet. That's why.
Because I'm asking you a specific question, you can't answer it. Ask if it's advice. It's not. It's a joke. It's not.
The
What's
minute,
happening? I don't know.
okay, here's the thing. Here's a high value. Let me give you a high value man. A high value man goes and fucks as many chicks as he possibly can, as many women as possible, and he fucking finds one little needle in the haystack, and he wipes up that girl because she happens to have no body count. She's like 100% in love with him, and I can go and rattle off all these extremes, and you know who's going to disagree with me? Every guy in fucking
Rattle off
Daily
those
Wire is
extremes.
going to
So
disagree.
say what you really think.
I'm just so confused because the one about vasectomy is one that we definitely disagree with. So if he's concerned about people disagreeing with him, then why put vasectomy down? I'm just so confused. It's like I can't hold him to a logical, consistent point. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, guys. Shout out to Venom 233,000 with a $5 super chat. 3,300. Would you ever collab with FNF? Yeah, we've talked behind scenes before, but I think kind of going into the future, I'm pausing collabs. Long story short, pausing all collaborations. All right. I think your boy has been hot in these streets for the last like 3 goddamn months. All right. I think I've done enough collaborations for 2023. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna get into just doing my commentary, having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? You know? Oh, God. Ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Tell me you're in love with me without telling me you're in love with me. Tell me. Oh God, what a terrible response. Never mind. Let me start. Let me start talking about something else. Shout out Diaz with $5 super chat. Rollo was married. His wife boyfriend confirmed. What? Fake? That's probably fake news. Stop it, Diaz. Stop it. I know that he's married, but his wife boyfriend confirmed. I see what you did right there. Show some respect. All right. Show some respect. We don't know that. Shout out to Kid Blue, RB27. Hey, that was my super chat they read. What up, MTR? Shout out my brother, Kid Blue. That shit was hilarious. They got to hold them task to fire. I mean, this is the thing. Guys, you got to understand this from a content creation perspective. One of the things that I have learned with doing all these collaborations and shit like that recently, I mean, you got to think about the collaborations that I've done throughout my time on YouTube. I've been doing this shit for 5 years. 5. Since like 2018. Yeah, 5 years. I was doing this shit before Fresh and Fit even thought about a podcast. I've been doing this shit before Andrew Tate blew up. I've been doing this shit before Kevin Samuels was even talking about women. I was there. I've been doing this shit for a long time now with no collaborations. You gotta understand that. First collaboration, Kevin Samuels and It's Complicated. Okay? Shout out to It's Complicated. Second one. Third one. Melly Monaco. Just Modern Woman Things. Melanie King. What you guys have to understand is this collaboration shit, it drums up a lot of views, but I give a lot more value continuing to do my commentary content. And what I think about all day is value contribution. The collaborations can be fun, but as far as a value perspective, compared to the amount of time, money, energy, and effort that it takes, the collaborations to me, it is what it is. All right. Shout out to Tyler, $5 super chat. I don't think Rollo realizes that a vasectomy can be turn off. Vasectomy can be a turn off. If a guy I'm seeing has one of it, it's a no because I want kids. I understand the time clock. Hey, fair point. I appreciate Tyler with the $5 super chat. Okay. Shout out to, I'm missing some. My bad, guys. I gotta figure out a solution for this damn super chat shit. Shout out to JS Hooper with a $10 super chat. Weirdos like Zestity, Sneako, F&F wouldn't have any voice in this space if KS was still alive. They're just running their mouth with no point. Kevin's mission produced results in the real world. JS, appreciate the $10 super chat. You know, there's a lot of people that watch Fresh and Fit that would disagree with you. They say that Fresh and Fit delivers a fantastic amount of value. And if you look at their menu of content, they provide a shit ton of value. They do. They absolutely do. They're killing it in the space. I'll be one of the first ones to say that. And their setup is impressive. But understand, and here's the thing. Kevin wouldn't have been, who knows if Kevin would have been in the space if there wasn't, people like AMS, if there wasn't dating coaches, if there wasn't MRMs, if there wasn't, right? Like, to disregard what people are doing presently because someone did it before, I don't think it's not a good way to think about it. Just understand that we can all leverage pieces and parts to the knowledge that we gain to increase value to people that's looking at the content in the sector. We can all develop on themselves. I was the first one to come down in the sector and do conversations with women live and pre-recorded. I was the first one. I took a whole bunch of shit for doing that. But guess what? Who Fresh and Fit talked to in the late night shows? Who did Kevin talk to? Women. You know how much shit that I caught talking to women about a Stephen's Cold video or AMS video? But they leveraged what worked, and now they utilize it in their own sort of way. Just is what it is. Shout out to Merchant Ennies with the $5 super chat. You in a combo with Destiny and Abba would be dope in the future. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with it. Shout out though. Let me see. Damn, you guys are lighting up the chat. You can stop the collabs, but don't stop them with Melly Monaco. Shout out to Gibbs. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Shout out to Melly. Shout about Marcellus Temple. You forgot King Riches. I don't know what that's in reference to, how I forgot him. Shout out to N, $5 super chat. Why is your background different? I'm not at home. But I brought my camera with me to be at where I'm at right now so I can still deliver value for you guys. Okay. Shout out my brother. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Okay, what am I missing? Shit, you guys are lighting up the super chats. I appreciate you guys. Click on the like button for me as well. Since Sneako disagreed with FNF last time, I keep seeing Myron stuttering a lot. Normally, Myron, you hate him or like him. At least he was consistent. Shout out, brother, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Shout out to Selena Noel with the 28 Canuck bucks. Shout out, Selena. Listen, the ladies are coming through and showing support, love, and respect. In my opinion, someone of high value should be exactly that. Someone of high value. A valuable asset to anyone's life. Someone who has high morals and values and has an amazing character. Shout out to Selena. First time super chat down into the building. The ladies are showing up and showing out. Appreciate you, mama. Let me see. Shout out to King Shock. $8 super chat. Seeing millennials and Gen Z team up to punch up at the boomer and X-Gens is refreshing. By the way, I sent my value via email, brother. Shout out my G. I'll check it over here when I'm done with the live stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's something crazy to watch the new crop of those that grew up without a concept of a world without internet just completely strike down the older generation. It's incredible to see. All right, let's go. Oh shit, another one. In reference to your list of collabs, I enjoyed that combo you had about a week ago or so. Shout out to Marcella. Oh yeah, me and King. Shout out to King. He is one of, I know I get labeled as like not hitting up, but I talk to King Riches. So don't believe the lies over there, guys. The last thing that you guys should be doing is accepting information from someone who's demonstrated themselves as a modern woman, and then taking that information as face value. I talk to King Riches. Like, we talk. You know what I'm saying? So, like, all this shit not hitting the people up. Shut up. But here's the thing. When they go low, we go high. Because within their lowness, they demonstrate that they're the exact same type of women that they preach about. Y'all heard me? Ignore them. Because at the end of the day, if they're in love with you, then silence is the best way to defeat them. Let's go. Shout out to Michael Matrot with the fourth. Let me not forget that with the $5 super chat. Shout out to MTR. Shout out my brother. Patreon gang in the building. Shout out to Cam78. $10 super chat. You guys is not going to let me get back to the content at this juncture, right? So, Cam, as a 40-year-old man, I'm in an unusual position of having both foresight and hindsight. Discipline is paramount for any man. And for RP, GF, to even mention discipline is irresponsible. Yeah, to not mention it is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. You know, for that list not to be there, for that to not be a part of the list, but vasectomy is, you know, I mean, it is what it is. All right, let go.
Don't say it ironically. Say what you believe.
What I'm saying is what I believe here. Okay, this is the whole thing. It's the point of the tweet is that it's your definition of what it is.
You keep saying that, but you said Ben Shapiro. You said Ben Shapiro's not a high value man, so you must be comparing him to some standard in your head. You said Bezos is not a high value man. You said Elon Musk is not a high value man. So there's some standard in your head that you're comparing these guys to that they're not matching up to. What is that standard?
Right. Well, let's all you would have to do is look at their personal lives so you would understand this. Again, do I have time to go and enumerate all of that? No, I don't. But if you go and you look at what they're doing, like look, let's just use Elon Musk for a second here.
Well, let's use Ben Shapiro. That was a good example. Ben Shapiro.
We can look at Ben Shapiro. How did he meet his wife? Do you know how he met his wife?
What did they
It
grow
was
up with,
arranged, right?
Was it an arranged or family friends? I don't know.
No, basically what Ben Shapiro did was he wore this chick down over the course of God knows like 3 or 4 months, right? He would meet the definition of stalking and being a creeper on the if he wasn't Ben Shapiro, right? If he didn't have his
wore her
background
down.
who he
Yeah,
was.
like 3 to 4 months. What does that mean?
Basically,
What it means is he wore her down is what he did. He's very proud of that fact too.
Okay, hold on, real quick. You seem to have a problem with this. When somebody asks you what is X, and then you go, "Well, it's X," you're not really answering the question. You've done this like 3 times. When you say wore her down over 3 to 4 months, what does that mean? Did they date? Did he see her after school?
What that means is he was persistent. And he just kept wearing her down over the course of time.
Bro, that's ridiculous, man.
I'm just really mad at
I
you.
will send you the video. I will send you the video.
Okay. Jesus.
No, right.
You guys should do viewer call-ins more often. It's cute.
I'm Destiny ain't shit. So he's not a high value man because he wore her down, and wore her down is like dating. He pursued her.
okay. Well,
Yeah, and you should send your OnlyFans girls to come at me to debate me in your proxy next
I
time.
mean, we're asking to debate you right now, and you can't even.
Except next time, please find a girl who actually puts lenses in her glasses. A little weird.
You're so triggered, dude. Are you okay?
Not very rational.
I think
His 6th will be the
like I
emotional
said
male,
before,
I think.
because I would consider
This
Ben
doesn't
Shapiro
look
a high
good.
value guy. I would.
Yeah, no,
personally.
everybody would, obviously.
But
Wait, you
again, there's
disagree with
different takes on it.
the Grandmaster?
The Godfather, the great-great-granddaddy of the
The
Red
The
Sox.
Grandmaster.
trolling, man.
The Grand
Would you Myron, would you agree with his outlook on women?
With Ben Shapiro's outlook on women.
Yeah. Ben Shapiro has literally come at you for exactly this. For
Yeah.
everything that these guys are talking about, he's come at you for exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So
You guys did a full show on this.
no, for sure. I disagree with him on as far as like the female stuff. Like, oh yeah, that like having sexual experience is like bad for you, like he was trying to say.
Mhm.
But I think objectively speaking, from the things that I listed as far as what I think makes a guy high value, he has all those things. Now, he's limited on his knowledge of females for sure, right? Because I think he only got with one girl, and you know she comes from a certain type. She comes from a family, and a certain family. I don't want to say because we're on YouTube, but but I think that set her up. Yeah, cha-ching. That set her up to be a girl that would be to his liking. But the point I'm trying to make is, I think Ben Shapiro's a high value guy, but I don't agree with his stances on women.
Well, same thing with Steven Crowder right now. You guys were just talking about Crowder not too long ago. Like right up until he got this divorce and all this stuff started coming out and Candace Owens and all that shit.
Guys, but I don't.
Everybody would have said he was a high value guy until now.
I think they're high value guys like Crowder and Ben Shapiro based on what they've accomplished in life. But I don't agree with their standpoints on.
Rollo
females.
thinks that if he disagrees with them, then they can't be.
You guys are so
Wait, I missed it.
Agrees with them, then they can't be.
Why does
Rollo
that
thinks
pause there?
If he disagrees with them, then they can't be.
Go back to fucking Twitch.
Did they edit that out? Why is that doing that?
Can't be.
You guys are so, go back to fucking Twitch. Just go back to Twitch and start playing games again. You have no fucking point. There's no point for either one of you to be on this fucking show, quite honestly.
Dumbledore has spoken.
Because here's the thing: the traditional conservative beliefs don't
Not
necessarily work in
Dumbledore.
today's sexual marketplace when it comes to dealing with women.
No, we
Not
agree, but that's the
Dumbledore.
reason he thinks Ben Shapiro's not high value, because he disagreed with you on relationships.
No, what I'm saying is that well, yes, I would actually agree with that, simply because.
Okay, so there's a point about
does Ben Shapiro the way what his disagreement with you, does that then at least in some way diminish him as a high value man?
No, we can disagree. I disagree with that.
I'm asking Myron. I mean, because it's Myron who says, he's a high value guy, but like,
Describe that he disagrees on the traditional relationships.
if you're gonna look at money, muscles, and game, okay. In this case, it's the female aspect of what makes a high value guy, right? If he disagrees with what he's not disagreeing with me, he's disagreeing with Myron.
He just said that he's high value.
He said he's high value, but except for that one part where he's saying, you know what, I disagree with his outlook when it comes to like women and how best to go about like forming relationships or whatever, the sex, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think he's a high value guy, but I disagree with his notion on how to deal with women.
Well, he's not fucking 50. He's not fucking 50 guy or 50 women.
One book.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not. He's against that, which I think is dated. You know what I mean? Again, like I said before, I think a guy could be traditionally conservative, but I'd not agree. I don't necessarily have to agree with someone's viewpoints on how they deal with females for me to see them as high value, because I think he accomplishes all the things that I mentioned on my list of what I think makes a guy high value.
So he doesn't agree. So Myron is essentially saying that he does not agree with Rollo's assessment that Ben Shapiro is not a high value man, is essentially what he's saying. Let's see how Rollo responds to this. By the way, guys, if you continue to look at Sneako and Destiny's demeanor, they are even keeled. They are even keeled. They are straight faced. That's what you guys got to do. Not be emotional, not be overly passionate regarding this shit within a debate type of situation. You need to be even keeled. Guys, I just noticed a bunch of super chats that came in. Shout out to Glenn Lawrence, $5 super chat. MTR, I would love to talk to you about this debate on stream to just clarify things on stream. I can't have people call in to here right now. But, you know, I actually been thinking about opening up where I can talk to people out in the, you know, viewership going into the future. So stay tuned. Shout out to Michael Simpson with the $20 super chat. Rest up and reconsider the collabs carefully in the future. Be sure to leave just poorly things in the past. Thank you for the advice, my brother. Trust me, I will. on both things. Leave them in the past as well as greatly reconsider collabs going into the future. I appreciate the love, support, as well as the respect. If I had my soundboard right here, I'd give you the air horns. All right. Shout out my G. Shout out to Uno. Sneako sounds feminine. Keeps on idolizing fam creation, but no mention of the desire. Does he want to be the next Rockefellers? He sounds naive. Well, here's the thing. His idolization on fam creation, I think, is tied to his new religious beliefs. I think they're directly tied to it. So, shout out to Melody King down into the building. Pure. Thank you so much for the super sticker, $20 super sticker, Melanie. If you guys don't know Melanie, you guys all know Melanie, right? We did content together. Make sure you guys go follow Melanie and then come back to the stream. You understand me? Shout out. Let me see. Jesus. Shout out to and Jolie Reyes. Advice equals guidelines or recommendations. So for Rollo to not back up his tweet shows his true character, especially since he won't defend it. Love the commentary. MTR as one of the 28.5. I think we're up to 29.5. And Jolie Reyes. So welcome to the MC Army. All right. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to Selena Noel again for the 14 Canuck bucks. Nowadays, a lot of men lead more with their wallets to seem high value and attract ladies when they should be leading with their hearts and brains to truly attract the right woman. Shout out to Selena with the $14 super chat. I think men need to first focus on success. Then they can worry about women later. Doesn't mean that they can't go out and date and meet women during the same time. But I think that the focus on the wallet is not how I would frame it. I would say the focus on their purpose and identifying who that they are in order so they can increase the utility that they give to themselves as well as to the world. First, to open up the most or maximize the volume of options at now their high value disposal. You understand me? Shout out to Selena. Appreciate you. Shout out to Cam. Super Saiyan Blue is shining, Rollo. Talk about Destiny and Super Saiyan Blue. Is he Super Saiyan Blue Evolution? Shout out to Vegeta. Hold the L. GF. I don't know what GF is. Shout out to Selena again with the 7 Canuck bucks. The right woman will love you, stick by you, be loyal to you, and build you up and support you when you have nothing. Money is only energy. Let me tell you guys, I make significantly more money now than when I did when I was in corporate America, but I'm not any more happy because of it. Joy is not connected to money. Even there's studies that show, and I think Jordan Peterson has talked about this before, that the diminishing returns of joy and happiness when you make more than $75,000 per year is ever more apparent. Now the numbers date back to, I want to say like 2014 or something like that. So they probably got to be updated due to inflation. But after you reach over a certain amount, you know what I'm saying? And then you can add on that income for the new cost of like new family introductions coming in, right? Like your happiness really doesn't change much going from $200,000 a year to $300,000 a year, as opposed from going from $50,000 a year to $80,000 a year. You understand what I'm saying? The diminishing returns is apparent the higher that you go. But yeah, it's not tied to it. Shout out again. Damn, Selena Noel. How the women donating more into the stream than the guys? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Selena Noel with the 14 Canuck bucks. It should never be of the utmost importance any women who values money enough to disrespect you when you don't want to pay for a trip or nails is a gold digger, not the one you want around for life. Shout out again, Selena, coming through. Shout out to Sir Arthur Dane, $10 super chat. I feel you on chilling with collabs, but since KS is no longer with us and Myron is all I watch now, we need that. Again, just as I don't know if you were here early in the stream, what collabs can do, introduce you to new audiences, but there's also a negative impact of, being the front face of content, because then all of these people want to talk. You know how many goddamn streams, people tagging me in streams, they'll like look at the stream between me and Melanie King and have a literally 4-hour streams. Ah, shit, look, he looked up and to the left. And because he looked up and to the left, that must mean that she don't want to fuck with him. I'm like, yo, y'all are some weirdos. I'm like, I've never had so many people interested with where I place my penis before in my goddamn life. It's so utterly ridiculous. But that's what happens when you collab with women. When you can collab with dudes. Right, like there's other things that can happen. So I'm just like, well, why would I want to do that when I know I can give a lot of value from solo content? But I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I feel as of right now off of the PTSD of dealing with a grifting modern woman. But that's neither here nor there. Shout out. Melody King, welcome to the channel membership, mama. Appreciate you. All right? Appreciate the support. All right? Membership privileges. Shout out again to Melanie. Shout out to Jock Hataki, $5 super chat. Shout out to you for MTR for keeping the RP strong. Keep thriving and surviving. My brother. When you say RP, I think real pill, if that makes sense. Okay. MTR, come back to the gaming channel, my G. I should probably go back to my gaming channel. Guys, did I also say this as well? I might have said this at the beginning. I have a website now. All right. mtarmy.com. Show it some respect. Link to it in the description box down below. Whether you guys want to find me on other platforms, you can go find me up there. If you want to book a one-on-one consultation with me, I do personal life consultations as well as YouTube consultations for you content creators out there. Talk to the MT Army. So my Discord server is now public. You can join the Discord server. Or if you want to be involved in my newsletter, you can join it all up there. All the links are for you. You see, what else is on here? Modern Man Playbook, as well as my merch as well. So feel free, mtarmy.com. That's your community center now, all right, when I'm not live. Guys, go up there, join the Discord, book a consultation, whatever you guys want. I'm trying to figure out other ways to make myself more accessible for you guys, all right? But by the way, Melanie, you just became a channel member. That means you have new emojis. Can you please show the people the emojis, please? I would appreciate it, okay? Damn, y'all must not want me to get back to the content. Shout out to Tashawn Nicholas with a $10 super chat. What Red Pill gurus don't understand is that the history books don't look at a man's sex life. They look at accomplishments. Sex life of a high value man is used to degrade them. Look at MLK for an example. Well, here's the thing. Is one of the things that I say on this channel is that for all high value men, the most apparent thing to take away your value is your interaction with a woman. You see, women can do, in my opinion, from a relationship perspective, little to none to help you build a utility, except for maybe take care of kids so you can go out and build that utility. But as far as taking away your utility, women can be extremely good for that. So you just have to be extremely careful. All right. If you choose monogamy if you're a man of value. If you choose monogamy, but she allows you to step out and do your thing, do those things, but do understand that she might be collecting evidence towards your ass to strip you of half your shit later on. You got to be strategic out here in these streets. Name every day another story with a guy with some accusation, some Me Too this, some, oh God, what did he, who was the analyst, the boxing analyst, or whoever the shit was that just got a worker at a hotel to just lie on him. Who's that sucker's name? It happens so often, it's so goddamn ridiculous. Shout out to Johnny Depp. Shout out to Omega Green with the $20 US. Rollo has shown the inability to define his terms because he doesn't understand what they actually mean. I agree. I think if I was to give Rollo a suggestion, I would say, brother, you probably need to define what a high value man means and stop with all this subjectivity bullshit. Define it for your audience. You know what your demographics are. What of your demographics, what would be a high value man? Most of your watchers are probably in the United States. They're probably between the ages of like 25 to 35 or 40. What would a high value man mean to these types of men? You can define it amongst that subset, but if you don't have a definition for it, it weakens your argument when you create a tweet about it. This is why you have to be prudent regarding who you get your advice from. Shout out again to Selena. Y'all big mad at women speaking her own truth, but aren't even sending money into the chat to support the guy. Yikes. Selena is spicy, but thank you, mother, for the 7 Canuck bucks. I appreciate you. All right. I appreciate that. She's like, support him. Shit. All right. Shout out to Black Jack Spade with a $10 super chat coming through the show. My brother MTR, some love. Appreciate you, my G. Shout out to you and the value that you give to the world. Keep doing you. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. As long as I got 2 legs to walk, a face to put on a camera, and a voice, I'm gonna ensure that I continue to provide you guys value added content, and I appreciate that. Shout out to Def Jules supporting the content. Appreciate you for the support, my brother. Shout out to Nil Have again. $5 super chat. Myron disagrees with Shapiro because Shapiro was talking about how to create a good marriage. Oh, did they? Did they respond to some Shapiro shit? How to create a good marriage opposed to sleeping with 50 women first, according to Myron. Yeah, I don't believe in the 50 woman thing. But, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to Ivan Jr. with a $10 super chat. Sneako is still a kid, still finding himself to become a man. No one should be taking any advice from him. People need to get out, stop staring at the phone, be friendly, smile. They could be a great man. Yeah, he is. I mean, you know, what is he, 24 or something like that? He's still finding himself. You know, but what also makes him entertaining is that he's still finding himself. Someone should be taking advice from him. I don't know if he was giving advice during this pod. But I hear the things that you're saying, Ivan. I appreciate the super chat. Shit, y'all want me to get back to the content. Shout out to Nil Had with a $10 super chat. Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, will only marry an Orthodox Jew who lives by the same traditional morals and ethics. Shapiro is white, right, but he's not dealing with prostitute culture or Miami chick culture of the modern American society. Yeah, which is why I don't know about disqualifying him as high-value man because those are his selection criteria. But at the same time, I don't know what he says about this whole high-value man thing. Maybe he said it himself that he's not, and these are the reasons why. The 6'2" super mutant nerd with the $20 super chat. Ladies, stop with the cap. With all that follow your heart bullshit. Way too many young men have unalived themselves behind that rhetoric because that same type of chick hurt little buddy when they grow bored and complacent, meaning they turn them into a supervillain. Woman submits to woman only. Hive minds. Shout out to the 6'2" super mutant nerd. The most interesting name that has come across here thus far here today. Shout out, brother. I appreciate the love, support, as well as the respect. Shout out to Chet Stankley for becoming a channel member. Shout out. I appreciate you. Shout out to Senator 1021 with a $10 super chat off topic. But what's your policy on reaction requests and stuff like that? I don't take reaction requests. If you want to send me stuff to react to in my email, that's fine. But I always have people hit me up like, yo, how much is it for me to pay you to react to my content? I don't do reaction requests. Never have, never will. It's because I just want to continue to bring the content as I see it, have my talking points, and bring them up to the platform. I don't want to contrive talking points based off of someone wanting me to do something for them or get paid for it. Does that make sense? Also, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate the love, support, as well as the respect. Okay? Leg up!
And so what you're doing is you're saying that high value is these accomplishments, correct?
Yeah, I'm interpreting it. Yeah, that's how I interpret it. Which obviously everyone here at the panel has a different opinion.
I kind of agree. Yeah, I agree with that. Respected, accomplished.
Which is
we don't really have a different opinion.
I feel like our definitions are pretty aligned at the table.
Yeah, with us 3, yeah. But I mean, again, we're looking at things differently in general.
Okay.
because you guys don't agree. I agree with his tweet if you want to become high value in the quickest amount of time.
But you
Y'all
can't
don't.
agree with it if he doesn't even define it. You can't agree with him if you don't even know what his definition is.
Correct.
But I just
Does he agree with it? Defined by the way he defines it.
What his is.
No, but he did though. He chose what high value means to him. You're missing a point.
Thank you. Fresh is the voice of reason.
It's going over your head because you guys are thinking about 1 point vasectomy. That's it.
We weren't even on vasectomy, but that's okay. I think we come to the bottom of this.
It's common sense.
Well,
Bro.
Myron agrees with the tweet that I'm talking about, according to what his definition of a high value guy is. Correct?
Yeah, he knows his definition.
Yeah.
Exactly.
High value men are just like people that have high value and are men. I agree. I got it.
all right. I'll hit these other ones. We got here Viking Paradigm, ignoring the context, talking over, interrupting ad hominems, goalpost shifting, claiming it's advice when it's not. It's easy to see who's trying to control their viewers and who's not, and easy to see who lost the debate here.
Hey, you're a douche nozzle. That's a douche nozzle thing to say.
Shut up, Viking, man.
That's not very rational of you.
Life, love, value. Women aren't so
Sneako's a
simple.
good troll.
Leave these RP dudes alone in their zone to stew. Responsibility, intelligence, and discipline above all, and are talismans of happiness for most people. Enjoy life, grind, and don't glorify.
Hey, I
anyone.
agree.
Okay,
100%.
And then what else we got here? We got Mike Rashid. I hope y'all don't let Rollo's weird immigration
Mike
comment
Rashid.
fly by.
Immigration comment.
Wait, what?
Agree.
Okay.
100%.
And then what else we got here? We got Mike Rashid. I hope y'all don't let Rollo's weird immigration comment fly by.
Immigration comment.
What's he talking about?
I wish I got an invite for discussion.
I wish you got an invite for this discussion.
He should come to the round table next week.
Immigration?
He's not Trump.
We didn't talk about
What am I talking about?
immigration.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. What else? Anything else?
Up to you guys. Question mark.
That's it.
John.
100%.
100%. If I wanted to learn how to become a successful man, I'd go to Rollo before going to Sneako or Destiny. Two grown-ass men who argue like teenage boys.
All right, so a 55-year-old guy calling us douche nozzles to someone who's like 3 times younger, that's a mature way to argue?
Damn.
If that's your idea, then okay.
Wow. Shots fired.
That's just what happened on the show.
This is
You
a
left them
great
speechless.
debation.
Do you have anything to say? Like you called in.
Great
You're
debation.
just staring.
Where can they find y'all?
I mean, they know where to find. We plugged in at the
Go back to Twitch. There's some advice for you. That's some real advice for you guys. You guys have no business fucking being in any of this shit right here. You're not ready to have an adult conversation. Everything
A lot of
is
super chats.
I've
like,
seen you
it's pretty
chatting
wild.
more than any other name in the chats. I re-chat like whenever I stream, which is when I'm online, and you're in there more than me.
True.
So calling us Twitch, actually, I'm banned on there. I'm on Rumble, but yeah, if you want to pull the online card, then maybe get off the internet a little bit and chatting all day. Douche nozzle.
It's a lot harder when it's not just like 22-year-old women being ganged up on a podcast, huh? I'm sorry, Rollo.
Oh God! Oh, the pause and then the douche nozzle, the comedic timing. Ooh, hold up. Oh God!
Do you have anything to say? Like you called in.
Great
You're just
debation.
staring.
Where can they find y'all?
I mean, they know where to find. We plugged in at the
go back to Twitch. There's some advice for you. That's some real advice for you guys. You guys have no business fucking being in any of this shit right here. You're not ready to have an adult conversation. Everything
A lot of
is
super chats.
I've
like,
seen you
it's pretty
chatting
wild.
more than any other name in the chats. I re-chat like whenever I stream, which is when I'm online, and you're in there more than me.
True.
So calling us Twitch, actually, I'm banned on there. I'm on Rumble, but yeah, if you want to pull the online card, then maybe get off.
That's so hilarious. So what he's saying is that within his chats, I guess on Rumble, Rollo Tomassi be down in there leaving all type of comments. So if he's telling him to go back to Twitch or go back to Rumble, but he's also over there in his comments, then it's like, well, obviously you listen to me for some reason.
Off the internet a little bit and chatting all day.
He said, tell him, get off the internet.
Douche nozzle.
It's a lot harder when it's not just like 22-year-old women being ganged up on a podcast, huh? I'm sorry, Rollo.
Yeah, but Destiny's saying that to Rollo, which is another burn, it's another dig. But I think, does Destiny say the same thing to the rest of the Fresh and Fit boys? Or is that just something that he's saying to Rollo? Oh, I'm missing a shit ton of super chats. Hold on, let me go back up. Shout out to Swift the Same. Keep spreading the truth, MTR. You give us inspiration. Wait. Keep spreading the truth, MTR. You give inspiration to us women that there were still good men out there doing right work for the youngins. Swift, appreciate the super chat and the support. Shout out to Sean Nicholas. Some serious Matt Walsh. What is a woman vibes in a convo? No definitive definition present. Just circular definitions. Cam78. Watching Destiny and Sneako's son Rollo is exposing how Rollo's wisdom takes a backseat to his feelings. Yeah, I don't think his feelings should have came out in this conversation right here. Myron having to explain for Rollo is crazy. Yeah, Myron had to take over a couple of times from Rollo and from Fresh in order to kind of save the sanctity of the structure of the conversation, because it was probably going to roller coaster even worse than this. Let me see. Douche nozzle. That shit is hilarious. Shout out to Jonathan Picos with a $20 super chat, sending support for all the hard work, time, and dedication you do for the community at large. Thank you, brother. Hoping you cross paths with Destiny or Abba and Preach at some point for constructive, professional, and rational conversation. You know what's funny about that? I had a discussion with Preach on my IG. This had to be like a year and change ago. So there's some content up there of us. It's on my Instagram. But we didn't talk about nothing crazy like that. We didn't really go into it, just, you know, pleasantries and shit like that. But yeah, I don't know though, because again, I'm taking a break off from this collaboration shit, you know. I'm going 5 years on this content with no one really talking about me. I used to have content creators like, man, how do you create this content and no one really talks about you? And I was like, I don't know. And then you start collabing, and all of a sudden, the seedy scavengers, you know what I'm saying, who say nothing but negative shit about you, just come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate the love, support, and the respect. Shout out to Gibson. Would you ever put your content on Rumble platform? Rumble actually hit me up to do that, and I don't know. I got so many other things to think about. I think Rumble actually has a feature where it auto uploads from your YouTube videos, so maybe I should investigate that. Shout out to Jabril with a 10 pound super chat. W Sneako douche nozzle.
No, I'll be happy to fucking debate you, dude. On any topic you want.
We are right now.
We just did.
No, you're talking about this one fucking tweet is what you're talking about.
Well, we were talking to the Godfather of Red Pill, trying to.
Yeah, and speaking of fucking tweets, or excuse me, speaking of fucking super chats, was that not you on whatever podcast the other night?
Yeah, I like to support people I go on to have a podcast.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for at least admitting it.
Those are the only 2 super chats I've sent in my life. If I'm watching content and I want to know if it's Red Pill or not, I just
seems like you're watching a lot more than you think you are.
Program I've ever been on. It's insane. You should get a tax credit for like watching me.
What?
Bro, do you have anything to say?
What the fuck?
Like that, man. Okay. I thought you'd have.
I ain't shit. 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 I ain't shit.
Have a rap.
Me. Program
Let's get a zoom in on the chin strap as he does this. You know what I'm saying? Ooh.
I've ever been on. It's insane. You should get a tax credit for like watching me.
Bro, do you have anything to say? Why are you staring like that, man?
Oh, I just want to give him a spanking. What happened to the old days? I just want to put him over my knee. They're so disrespectful to me. Oh, God damn it. Why do they have so many more views? Is it because they're entertaining? Is it because they're witty? Why are they over here? Shut up! Douche nozzle! Oh, God. What portion of my book combats this shit? making me looking like the irrational male and not the rational male. I'm so emotional. Oh, my chin strap looks good though. It looks fantastic. Oh, I should have gave my barber a $50 tip this time. It's right on the bottom of my chin the way it's supposed to be. It's so form. It's so in shape. It's perfect. But the way that they're disrespecting me by calling me old, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Show me some respect. My literature supersedes myself. My tweets supersede myself. Vasectomy. Get your balls snipped, please. Take away the ability to nut in her face, please. If you want to be a high-value man, but I can't define it, I should have never called in. This debate was ridiculous. Okay. I've drug that one down into the depths of hell for long enough. Let's finish up.
Okay. I thought you'd have a rap.
It's like, no, you guys. Let's see. Here's the thing: is you guys. First of all, I've thrown out this
Slayer in his car after the show.
First of all, this challenge. If you guys want to come to Vegas, come to Vegas. We'll sit across the table from each other.
No,
And
we're
we'll
gonna
do it.
build up your fucking dog shit podcast. What are you talking about? Come to Miami.
I am coming to Miami.
Next week.
Oh, cool.
I hope you're here next week.
You guys are so mean, man.
Yeah,
What can all come
Bro,
out
I
of
didn't even
love,
say.
bro?
What do you mean we're mean? He called us douche nozzles. Oh, it's fine. He's the grand wizard of red pill, so I can't go say anything about that. But I'm mean now because I'm calling him irrational for not having any arguments at all. Bro, I know you want to defend him because the book is here on the table, but like, bro, that made no sense.
You guys have not read the book. You guys don't know what the fuck
I'm
you're
not reading your
talking
book, bro. You can't even define what high value man is. Why would I read a book from a guy who can't have a clear definition?
Have you read the
No,
book?
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm fucking for the last half hour. I've been trying to explain to you this shit to you. You guys have no business being in this fucking sphere to begin with. First of all,
The Grand Wizard.
Keep it forever until you're 65.
second of all, and the reason why is because you devolve into. You want to know why? Like when we talk, nobody debates anymore. You know why? Because it devolves into this middle school bullshit that both of you are. But you guys are perfect. Yes, you guys should marry each other.
You can't call this childish when you were the one who started insulting. I would just ask you a question and then you said douche nozzle. Now you're gonna go play the maturity card?
Yeah. Now I'm gonna play the maturity card.
That was a middle school argument. All right. I mean, this is not going anywhere.
This was a great debate.
I like
Debation. Debation.
Debation.
Well,
Speaking of
I mean, it's very obvious that everyone here has different takes, which is great. I think that's good.
I'm not sure what his take is still. But
But that's cool. It's different than ours. We know that.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Is there anything else, Chris? Or
Let's see. Nope, we're good.
all right.
All right.
Okay. All right. Here we are. let me acknowledge some of the super chats that may or may not have come through. I don't know. I think. Oh, shout out to Gibson with a $40 super chat just for the support of the live stream. Thank you so much, my brother. That's a big super chat right there. So I appreciate the love. I appreciate it. All right. Let me see one more. Ivan, yet again with a $10 super chat. Many of these podcasts are supposed to be about relationships, but never get into the meat of relationships. Success. Oh, into the meat of relationship success. The same talking points and roastings. Too many sheep in the field. Not enough leaders. Appreciate you, brother, for the $10 super chat. Teddy with the super sticker. Keep doing your thing. Young blood. Appreciate you, Teddy, for the $20 super chat. All right, where's the bottom of the chat? Oh, first time super chatter. Michael Myers. Is that what it said? Michael Myers with a $10 super chat. When you're a man with a quality options and dating experience, it's easy to see through content creators like Donovan and Rollo. They have no clue about dating women whatsoever. Michael, welcome to the MT Army #1, and I appreciate your $10 super chat and contribution. All right. Shout out to Jeff Jules with the $5 super chat. Rollo did a Jean-Claude Van Damme training montage after this. Listen, here's what I know from this conversation. All right, let me try to conclude it in the best way that I can. I think that this is a 2v1 right here. Well, if you think about it, it's like Myron's neutral. So it's really Sneako and Destiny and Rollo and like 10% fresh. You see what I'm saying? It's like two of the sides. Myron is trying to facilitate the conversation. But what's clear in this is that the degree of troll and pettiness of Sneako and Destiny is, I didn't realize it was this high. Like this is actually quite comedy. It's actually quite comedy because all of their jokes and their wittiness, they weren't angry. You see what I'm saying? What Rollo was saying back was filled with so much emotion. It just comes across as cringe, especially when you're in a space doing content for men. It's a little bit, I think it was just a better way to try to handle it. Now, what I will also say is that many people will disagree with holding him to the point of high value man, but I think that it's important when you have all of these other, right, when you're trying to define the quickest to become that, not to have a definition of it. It's just weird for me. Now, Rollo's response to that is that, well, it's just subjective. This was meant to start a conversation. And that's what he is. If that's what he was trying to do, then he's a super genius because we're all sitting here having a conversation about it. Going forward, the advice that I would give to Rollo is you probably need to create a definition for it just for your audience and then help explain vasectomy number 3, because within this whole conversation, he never answered the question regarding to vasectomy. In fact, I think Myron talked about vasectomy more than what Rollo Tomassi did. You understand what I'm saying? So here we are. And there we go. Shout out to everybody that came down into the building. Guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. The MT Army ever grows. MTArmy.com. Feel free to go up there and see all of the links or whatever to make sure that you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. I got a Reddit, link to a Reddit. The Reddit is r/MT Army. They be posting things up there to reference within clips or reference things that go on in the channel. Shout out to everybody for your support and all the love. You know, we over here live streaming at the end of the day, doing the most that I can with the value that is placed in front of us. I apologize for not doing this more often because I think that, you know, just trying to live life and shit like that, right? Like, so it's tough sometimes to sit down for 2.5 hours to do a live stream after you're creating the daily content each and every day, sometimes multiple times per day. But I got to ensure to continue to do this because I think that my perspective in this conversation is value add enough that people are getting genuine benefit out of listening to it, as well as, you know, the fun, the entertainment and shit like that. You know, your boy's been through a lot of drama over the past couple of months. At the end of the day, I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. And we will never fold. We will never stumble. We won't let lying people determine reality. We'll just let them grift. Because at the end of the day, y'all know where authenticity stands. And y'all rock with it. Until next time, YouTube. Peace. Hit the like button, you bastard.